There is nothing like the city of Toronto in the summertime. Warm weather, beautiful views. You can actually see that view from inside the ballpark. You have to get there first, though, via bike, via train, via car. It is another gorgeous afternoon for baseball. MLB Live on Facebook Watch in Canada for the Atlanta Braves and the Toronto Blue Jays interleague play from Rogers Centre in Ontario. And hello to the Facebook audience globally. Scott Braun with you and a team of 3 more joining me very soon. You have the Atlanta Braves with the best record in the National League, taking down the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday. It's a short 2-game series, an 11-4 victory. Toronto has struggled since a nice start to the season. We'll get into it throughout the day via our social broadcast. And this is how that works, as we will chat throughout the day, take your questions, your comments, join the conversation all day long. It's like you're in the broadcast booth with us. Join the Braves and the Blue Jays fan groups if you want to watch the game with fellow Braves or Blue Jay fans, and you can swipe right on your mobile device if you want to get to quiet mode. And we feature 2 analysts up in the booth with deep ties to your favorite team. Braves fans and Blue Jays fans actually know Mark DeRosa played for Atlanta 1998 to 2004. Just about any position on the diamond, 100 career home runs, played until 38 years old. Final run in 2013 with Toronto Blue Jays. JP Arancibia was on that team. He's representing the Blue Jays side for us today. And JP, what was it like playing with Mark DeRosa in his final season?
Well, I got to be locker mates with him, so I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be goofy, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they'll get after it throughout the day. So, Mark, let's start with Freddie Freeman and the Atlanta Braves. He is the leading candidate for MVP in the National League. How big of a deal is he in Atlanta right now?
He's a huge deal, Scotty. I think the rest of the world, it took 72 games of the 2018 season for people to fully realize them getting off to a good start and the fact that Freddie Freeman's one of the best players in the game. And he walks around. There's not many people that can walk down the street and they're known by one name in Atlanta. There's been a ton of great players to come through it, obviously starting with the hammer. You could throw Hank out there and you know exactly who you're talking about. 755 home runs, second most all-time. There he is, taking out Downing deep to overtake Babe Ruth. How about Eddie Matthews? He was an absolute beast as well. Freddie Freeman, leading vote getter in the All-Star game right now. A lot of Braves getting a lot of nice run in the All-Star game. How about Dale Murphy, multiple MVP winner, still around the ballpark a time or two. There he is, 1982, 1983, was a catcher, decided, oops, I want to go to the outfield and kill it there as well. Chipper Jones, my mentor, one of the greatest third basemen of all time, and I will be headed to Cooperstown along with him to watch him get inducted because he's deserving of that. First ballot Hall of Famer, but you talk about it. Freddie's a beast. We've all known it for a long time. He was coming for a long time, 19 years old. We saw him in the cages at Turner Field, hitting exactly this way. 2-time All-Star, you see there, he's leading the NL in almost everything offensively. So yeah, sit back and watch. He loves playing in Canada. And this is going to be a treat for him to go left on left. Check out the numbers. He's second in batting average, but his numbers against lefties are eye-popping, hitting north of 380. So he gets J-Happ today. Should be interesting.
And that's a great point. Both of his parents grew up in Canada. He grew up in California, but he played for Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic. Tough test, though, for him and the Braves because they're facing J-Happ, JP, and he's having a big year, especially in the strikeout numbers, and you've caught him in the past.
Yeah, and I caught him, and he didn't have as many pitches to put guys away. Now you're getting a pitcher who throws the fastball up. Obviously, we've heard about spin rate and the value of that. And so off of that, he's throwing a lot more breaking pitches. He's throwing a sinker. He's got a good changeup. And one thing I like about him is that he's a person that's been able to play in the American League and the National League and be successful. But this is a guy who, again, went to some different teams. I think he's made some adjustments. You watch these pitches, he's got a good changeup right there. He's blowing away guys with high fastballs. He has so many different pitches that he can put guys away with that it's tough as a hitter to be able to sit on one thing. So that's what's making him special. But I'm excited to see him. And then there's a backdoor breaking ball. You can't do anything as a hitter with that.
And teams will be watching J-Happ. He could be available in the month of July for a contender. You could see the work that he's put together, a 3.48 ERA. He's matching up against Anibal Sanchez, who has been everything and more that the Braves expected from him. 37 1/3 innings, and he has been sensational on the mound, pitching in and out of jams, coming off another big performance. So it's a sneaky good pitching matchup. 2 veteran starters on the mound here in Toronto this afternoon, and another member of our broadcast team. She's been here in Toronto before, Alexa Datt, joining us today.
morning, Scott. I'm down here on the field level at the Rogers Center. Really excited to be here with you guys today. The roof is open, the weather is beautiful, and we are taking you guys all the way up to first pitch. So the best part about this broadcast is that we are interacting on social media. So any comments that you guys have about these games, you let me know. These two teams I know are some of your favorites, so we're going to have all of your comments be shared on the broadcast. Use the hashtag ATLTOR for us to see your comments as well as your photos, and we will share those throughout the broadcast. So really excited to be here joining you guys, and we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Alexa. I posted a story, and JP Arancibia putting up a picture on his Instagram account, so check that out. Also, have a look at the visiting Atlanta Braves starting lineup, and this is a dynamic offense, Mark.
Scotty B, what I love about it is the fact that they do not strike out. You take a look at it. After Ozzie Albies, we'll let him do his thing with the high leg kick. You get Swanson, Freeman, Markakis, Suzuki. These guys battle all the way down through the lineup. They're going to make Jay Happ have to work. We'll see if he runs the pitch count up there after about 5 innings.
And Jay Happ, 35 years old, the left-hander, went to Northwestern University, 6'5", a 3.48 ERA on the season. His strikeout per 9 number is the highest he's had since 2007. He is dominating left-handed hitters. And the last 6 starts for him, JP, have produced a 1.91 ERA. He is getting better as the year progresses.
Yeah, look for Russell Martin to show that high target on the fastball and be able to throw some pitches off it. But I'm excited to see what Jay Happ, and as we know, he's auditioning right now, so he's going to bring that game up to a different level.
That was the first question I wrote down from the audience. Patrick goes, will they trade Happ? I think we have an easy answer for that one.
I'm going to say a resounding yes.
All caps.
So Ozzie Albies and the Atlanta Braves ready to go against Jay Happ. It is game 2, a mini 2-game series between the Braves and the Blue Jays. We're underway. Atlanta at 43-29 on the season, best record in the National League, and the Blue Jays checking in at 33-39. That is 7-game home winning streak snapped yesterday.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
That high cheese.
That high fastball. You're going to see that mid up there throughout the game with that high fastball, because everything is going to play off of that high fastball. We all know, again, the spin rate, how big of a deal it is, and you know, usually ends up to a breaking ball next pitch.
Stays alive on the 0-2, leading the National League in doubles with 22 of them. Albies also leading the National League in extra base hits with 40. And yes, he's 5'8" listed. Looks about 5'5", 5'6" when we see him in person.
It's unbelievable. He plays a power man's offensive game. There's nothing. He's not looking to just hit grounders and use his speed. This is a guy with a high leg kick from both sides of the dish, and he is trying to do damage.
1 for 6 yesterday, a double and an RBI. And there's the strikeout for Happ. He climbs the ladder.
It's tough. It's a tough pitch. As a hitter, we've started to realize how hard it is to be able to combat that fastball up. You know, I can get to velocity down in the zone a lot easier than I can up in the zone. And so right there you see they didn't even have to go to the breaking ball. They just stayed hard up.
I think something that doesn't get discussed enough about when watching Happ pitch is, I've been in the box against him, JP. I don't know if you've had any at-bats against Jay Happ, but he's deceptive. It's almost like his heater comes out of his earlobe.
Yeah, it's a sneaky, it would be called a sneaky fastball. He hides it, whatever. It just gets on you, and it feels, you look at the board as a hitter, you go, that's 92, but I thought it was 95.
It's playing way up.
Robert said Albies looked silly. This is a perfect matchup for Happ. Now facing Dansby Swanson, who takes a big cut, and he's behind 0-2.
The big thing, sitting on the bench with the Toronto Blue Jays my last year, 2013, I got a lot of time to sit and talk to Mr. Happ. And the big thing I told him from an offensive standpoint is fastball command. You don't want to be out of the game in 5 innings and have your 110 pitches and force John Gibbons to have to take you out. If he could get some more fastball command back in the day, I thought he could turn into this type of pitcher, and it's kind of exactly what I've watched happen. Opens up the entire dish for his off-speed stuff as well.
In on the hands to Swanson. Diaz running play, and that's the second out. And the defense for the Toronto Blue Jays sets up like this.
The old Superman in center field, Kevin Pillar. This guy's going to run down everything, obviously behind the dish. The one thing I like, people don't talk about, Russell Martin's been to the playoffs many times in his career. The guy knows how to call a game. He's great. You have Solarte, who I want to see dance around the bases today. And again, two of the better outfielders in the corner with Randall Grichuk and Teoscar Hernandez.
Now, what you just saw on the screen is not what it looks like currently on the field. Huge shift, of course, for Freddie Freeman, and that's scooped up by the third baseman, Yangervis Solarte, makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the first for Jay Happ. We'll get to the Blue Jays side of the opening frame coming up here on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Anibal Sanchez will be on the mound on the Atlanta side. And for the Blue Jays yesterday, they fall 11-4. Let's check out the Toronto lineup. JP, take it away.
Ooh, I can't be as sexy as D-Row was because there's not a lot of great numbers going on right now. I want to give it, obviously, Solarte right here. He's got 15 homers, a few of them on the 3-0 pitch, we'll talk about. And one guy who's been swinging the bat really well, over 1,000 OPS since he's been back, is Randall Grichuk. So for me, he's a guy who needs to be able to go out there and continue to do what he does. But I got birthday magic in the 4-hole, Kendrys Morales. Birthday magic, I got him ending the streak.
I'm interested to see how Kendrys Morales plays it. Earlier in the year, we saw him go to glasses. Then he ditched those to get going. He went high socks a couple times, BGs, no batting gloves, taped hands. I haven't seen him come out of the dugout yet to grab the donut for the on-deck circle, but we'll check it out. But Scott, can we talk about Anibal Sanchez?
We need to, Mark.
What happened?
193 is the earned run average. He was signed by the Minnesota Twins for $2.5 million, and then they cut him in spring training. He goes unclaimed. 3 days later, Alex Anthopoulos scoops him up for the Braves. He had targeted him back in 2012 when he signed with the Tigers. Well, he's getting good value for a little less money, too.
And talking to Brian Sittker, we were all in there before the game started. Give me something. Snit, let me understand why Anibal's been so good. He said, D-Row, the velocity's there. He's mixing in matches. We didn't expect this Anibal Sanchez to come in and go this dominant. So he has been a pleasant surprise. You look around this defense. Woof, Charlie Culberson holding it down for Ronald Acuna Jr. out in left. If you were here last night, you saw Charlie steal 2 runs in left field, running into that wall. Ender Inciarte's a Gold Glover out in the outfield as well. So picking and grinning. For me, it all comes down to Johan Camargo at third base. I want to see what the Atlanta Braves do if they're still in this same position 4 weeks from now.
Yeah, we're hearing some names pop up. I'm sure they'll pop up in the comments section. That's Hernandez in the air and Borges coming in. Peter Borges making his 4th start of the season, his first start in right field. Nick Markakis is in the lineup, but he's the designated hitter today.
And I think a reason for that is, and JP can attest to this, as great as this place is to play, I used to watch old teammates come in here and not want to go to the post every day. Give me a DH. I don't want to be on the turf every day when I'm playing on grass at home. And I think you get Nick Markakis off his feet, but you keep him in the lineup.
Well, that's the great thing, and I think it's the great debate as well. Does National League eventually go to all DH and give guys be able to take them off their feet as well? I think it's something that it's talked about, but this is a tough place to play every day. That's for sure.
And that DH in the National League debate was hot last week with Masahiro Tanaka going down with an injury, running the bases in interleague play. So if you're a fan or not a fan, let us know in the comments section.
I've always been a big believer in the National League game because I really feel like the manager can put the other manager in a bind, and I kind of like that. I feel like in the American League, it was my 9 hitters against your 9, and I'll manage the bullpen. But watching these guys get hurt, I'm slowly starting to think maybe the DH should be in both leagues.
Justin Smoke drops a base hit into center field. It's the first hit of the day for either side. And Yangervis Solarte comes up next. He's been their most consistent run producer.
Can we talk about how you go double hamstring pull?
I remember I saw that. Not one, both hamstrings.
Yeah. He's going so hard that he blows one out. The next one, wheels come off. That's a tough run right there.
And nobody runs more than pitchers. Like they're in the weight room every day on the treadmill for hours on end.
First pitch breaking ball from Sanchez to Yangervis Solarte.
Now this guy takes, you talked about Albie's taking some hacks. This guy's a little bit bigger, a little thicker, but geez, does this guy take some donkey hacks.
Him and Aledmus Diaz have really helped out. I mean, Tulo's been damaged good since he's come over to Toronto. Josh Donaldson just can't get that calf going yet. Solarte's got 15 bombs coming over for San Diego. That was a nice addition by Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins.
Nice ballpark upgrade for him to be in Toronto. He leads the team in home runs with 15, like Mark said, and also leads in RBIs with 43.
Here's one thing for me that people ask about Solarte and what do you think? And you know how it is. This guy, he's been back and forth. He was a platoon guy. Then he finally got a chance. They bring him over to Toronto. He knows he's the guy every day coming to the yard. So now you get the best version of Solarte.
Two balls and two strikes. Anibal Sanchez has been especially effective in the first couple innings this season. Off to great starts. Also pitching in and out of jams. Pumping strikes. He's given this team length when he's been on the mound.
Ooh.
And he rings up Solarte.
It'll be a tough day as a hitter if you're getting that much off the plate right there.
Gosh. Yeah. Wow, that's a ball right there. That's a ball.
Goodness. But you know what? Then as a catcher right now, I'm going, okay,
I'm going right back in.
Yeah, I'm going there as much as that's my well. I know right now that pitch, whenever I need a big pitch, I'm going to that pitch.
Now birthday boy, Kendrys Morales, 35 years old today.
He's going high socks, taped hands. No glasses.
Dude, is that a little bit of an offensive lineman tape job on the hands right there?
He says the batting gloves, he tries to they get slippery to him. I would think it'd be the complete opposite.
Keep changing the wardrobe until it works. 1-0 misses.
You know how it is. How many games do we play? How many days? Our mind just goes crazy. You need to do different things. So he's got I like that he goes full tape at the bottom and then he splits it up to the top. I mean, oh.
2-0 is socked to right field. If it stays fair, it's gone. It's gone.
Let's go, birthday magic.
Birthday, Kendrys Morales. 2-run home run. And it's the first hit for a cleanup hitter against Anibal Sanchez all season long. 2-0 Toronto.
You called it.
Did I not say birthday magic? And did I say he was taking them up top? Did I not?
You did.
Yes, let's go. Oh, man.
This was the stat, Mark, that blew our minds. JP and I were talking before the game about cleanup hitters versus Anibal Sanchez. 0 for 17 with 1 walk. No other pitcher that had at least 5 starts had held cleanup hitters hitless. Just Anibal until birthday boy.
That is unbelievable right there. You talk, JP, about going to the well with that little 2-seamer paralyzer pitch. There's a cutter that did not get in enough. Kendrys Morales deposited second deck.
And now Kevin Pillar with 2 outs.
Yeah, this isn't an easy place to play, and you see he has over a 10 ERA in the last 3 starts against Toronto. Wasn't looking good, so birthday magic and that. 2-0, good guys.
Yeah. well, hold on, good guys. You know what jumps off the page? I know Kevin Pillar isn't Superman in the outfield. He really is, but he's got 22 doubles right now. I don't know where the league leaders are in doubles. I know Eduardo Escobar is like on pace for 73, on pace to break the record, but that was a number I tried to rack up.
Well, obviously you didn't want to. You can't lead the league in doubles if you're getting to third base. So I know you were coasting around that.
Yeah,
first
we're
base.
coasting.
But no,
triples don't add up, so we pull up at second.
He does. He hits a lot of balls in the gap, and again, he has good speed. So what he does is he get out of the box. Even balls that are not doubles for guys like myself, this is a double for him.
He forces the issue.
This is what I don't miss about being a catcher right here. The old backswing, the backswing smoked me and have to wait.
Saw Kurt Suzuki the other day against the San Diego Padres. And he got hit super hard.
2-2 coming from Sanchez to Pilar. Sends it to center field, and Ciarte gliding back. And that'll sit down the side. So a base hit for Justin Smoak, and he's brought home thanks to Kendrys Morales. A 2-run smash to right field, and he pulls it for his 6th home run of the season. The Blue Jays grab an early 2-0 lead off Anibal Sanchez, who had been very strong, like I said, early on in ball games. We have played one. It's MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Scott Braun, JP Arancibia, Mark DeRosa, and Alexa Dat downstairs. Hey, Alexa.
Hey, Scott. Well, as we know, I'm the social media reporter, so I'm catching you guys up on all the social media that guys from around the league have been posting on Instagram over the last week or so. So let's start with Carlos Gonzalez pranking his teammate Malik Smith.
Look at this little guy. Oh, he's not very little.
All right, so you saw Gomez there pulling a great prank, and you see Bohr here enjoying his bobblehead. Look at the Duck Hunt t-shirt, by the way. And then you got Eric Thames, revere the beard no more. He got rid of it, and that's how he feels without a beard. Looking fresh, though, and he's playing well. So it's kind of a big change for him, as we all know, but big smile there. And you can see more of his face now without the beard. So then we move on to Matt Harvey enjoying some new scenery, hanging out outside as he is in Cincinnati, trying to water his plants, and his dog getting in the way. Nolan Arenado posted this video as he's got a doppelganger here with all the equipment while he's relaxing and recovering from his game. And then at the Brewers game, this was pretty heartwarming. Wanted to share this with you guys. Oh yeah, there's the doppelganger, the two of them chilling out together. And at the Brewers game, Colonel Morrison coming home and surprising his family with an amazing reunion as he surprises kids and gets a big, big welcome home. So awesome to see across the league, tons of social media posts. If you would like to share your social media posts with us, hashtag ATL TOR.
Alexa, thank you very much. Yep, that's the hashtag. We've been using it on our own accounts. And back to baseball. Top of the 2nd inning. And another inning from Jay Happ. He faces Markakis, Suzuki, and Culberson in the lineup for Atlanta.
Nick Markakis, 324, 8 homers, 44 RBIs. I don't think people really realize the numbers he's amassed. He's 6th active career hits leaders. He's got almost 2,200 hits. And he's looking to go to his first All-Star game. Not only go, but be a starter.
Nice play by Devin Travis to prevent the base knock for Markakis.
Get him there. I mean, this guy has been, he terrorized me as a catcher. I didn't know what to put down. I'm like, dude, what don't you hit? Fastball smash, curveball smash. I'm like, listen, can you call the pitches? You just, whatever you want, we'll throw. Maybe we can get you out.
Now Kurt Suzuki. And he drills it to left. Hernandez giving it a look, and that ball is gone. Kurt Suzuki with a solo home run, and the Braves are on the board. It's 2-1. Number 8 on the season for the Braves catcher.
No waiting around. First pitch heater. Kurt Suzuki has found something in Atlanta. I played with him you're going to hear that a lot. I played with him. 2012, Washington Nationals played with Kurt Suzuki. He was a guy looking to drive the ball up the middle the other way. Here's a first pitch, get me over cookie fastball. Jay Happ trying to get ahead. And Kurt Suzuki says, no way, close the screen door. He hit 20 homers last year. And he's picked up right where he left off.
That catcher tandem, they're over 800 OPS as a tandem.
Charlie Culberson goes after the first pitch. Right field, and Randall Grichuk is there.
You know what's funny too is you know how this is from the beginning of the game. You have a plan, right? I'm going to go out there, Jay. We're going to attack guys early with fastballs. The team comes out. They're going to come and they're going to start ambushing. They're going to start ambushing him, and all of a sudden that plan that we have, we're going to have to switch really quick. But that's the old cat and mouse game. Obviously, he's a fastball guy, but he might have to throw some more off speed early to then continue to get back to that first pitch fastball.
James said on the comments section, "Come on, Happer, hung one there." Is that a hanger?
It has to be a breaking ball to be a hanger. So
Thank you for clarifying.
no, he didn't hang it, but he did throw it right down Broadway, and it was exited stage left.
The old school mentality, Scott, is right there. Kurt Suzuki 5 years ago would not have swung at that pitch. He just wouldn't have done it. It's just, if you pop that up, the risk reward, the old school mentality, it's not worth it to pop up that pitch and get a quick out right there. Instead, now these guys are thinking, I'm not getting the 2 strikes. I don't want to see bullpen guys anymore, so I am coming unglued first thing over the heart of the plate. It's kind of very refreshing.
Well, if I was about to say, my old locker room my locker mate would say, "Let's get it," from the gate.
Niles said Kurt Suzuki, a new and improved hitter with Atlanta.
He said he came on MLB Central, and he said, "I just get on the plate and I'm looking to drive something pull side."
2-2 count to Ender Inciarte. Chokes up. It goes to the shortstop Diaz and completes the play to retire the side. So after the 2-run home run from Kendrys Morales in the bottom of the first, we see an answer from Kurt Suzuki in the top of the second. First pitch. The Braves are one of the most aggressive teams in Major League Baseball going after that first pitch. And they're on the board. It is 2-1 here in Toronto. MLB Live on Facebook Watch continues. We don't take breaks here. Scott Braun, JP Arancibia, and Mark DeRosa watching a first place Atlanta Braves team. 43 wins, 29 losses, going for a 4th consecutive W and going up against a Toronto team that's in a transition mode. They're 16 games back of first place in the division, but look what's coming. This is MLB's Instagram account. And these are all last names that you would be familiar with if you're a fan of the game. Biggio, Bichette, Conine, Casey Clemens, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the big prospect name. But let's start with Clemens, son, of course, of Roger.
This guy can swing the bat. And now you got Conine. Both these guys just got drafted. Your son, Wentz Brooks, the Blue Jays are coming after. Anybody that has baseball genes is coming.
Griffin Conine, by the way, a second-round pick this year, just struck a deal with the Toronto Blue Jays, about $1.35 million. That's Biggio's son, Bo Bichette, moving his way up through the ranks.
Bo Bichette.
It's a good name.
Hey, get him in the lineup.
This is the one everybody is calling for. Now he's hurt, so he's out for a few more weeks. But when he was playing, he was the best hitter in minor league baseball, and it wasn't even close.
Is 400 good?
Walk-off homer to end spring training. I think for me, the guys I've had my eyes on recently, watching the Super Regionals and the College World Series, is Casey Clemens, and he plays with a little bit of edge, just like his daddy did on the mound. He went bridge in a big game the other day, and he let that opposing dugout know about it. I don't think he's going to pull that up here, but man, you certainly can tell the confidence is oozing off him. He's got a big-time bat.
Beautiful day for baseball. Roof is open at Rogers Center, and the first pitch, Russell Martin going after it and fouling it back.
Looks like the theme of today's game is ambush. Let's go from the gate.
Let's get it.
Martin, Grichuk, and Diaz due up in the bottom of the second.
You know what, those young guys, too, the one thing for me that people don't talk about is Biggio. Biggio has probably some of the best numbers out of all those guys.
You were saying that early before we came on the air. You were saying that because he's the one that kind of, I don't want to say gets lost in the shuffle, but you immediately go to Vlad Jr., you immediately go to Bo Bichette.
My Malo.
Excuse you?
Blue Jays home runs among catchers. Number 2 sitting right next to me.
Thankfully they didn't show the old KOs next to that, because I would have I'd be probably
don't sell
in
it.
the top.
Don't be humble. You went deep.
I hit the second deck a few times.
Russell's been an interesting story, though. Talking to John Gibbons before the game. I mean, this is a guy who's played a little outfield, a little infield. He had always pined to play shortstop. You know, I love him behind the dish. I think he's a game changer behind the dish, but it's interesting to see him move around, that versatility.
May 26th, he plays shortstop.
It's crazy.
He was excited.
Remember, he said the only way he was going to play in the World Baseball Classic with Canada is if they put him at shortstop, and so they didn't, and he said, all right, we'll see ya. And so now he's getting to do it in the big leagues. I think that's pretty cool.
Payoff pitch to Martin and a swing and a miss. Anibal Sanchez records his second strikeout. Big news. Scheduled to join us after this inning, the general manager of the Atlanta Braves. I have to stop myself and not say Toronto Blue Jays. He is in the house with us right now, and he is joining us right after the second inning. Alex Anthopoulos. So get your questions in on Facebook right now in the comments section. Questions for Alex Anthopoulos, and we will relay to him right after this inning.
I have about 1,000 questions
I know you do.
I want to ask him.
Written down or in the brain?
I'm ad-libber, Scott. I can't read prompter. I can't do a lot of that stuff. It's coming from the heart.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
He's real.
I think I've asked Alex too many questions over my career here. So
This is Randall Grichuk, 0-2. And 3 pitches. Anibal Sanchez deposits Grichuk for his 3rd strikeout.
my pick to click is setting him up for his later at-bats.
Well, Grichuk does have 13 runs batted in his last 13 games. Nice pitch.
Yeah, he's got back-to-back strikeouts with that changeup, and so obviously the first inning he got tagged on a cutter, but later as the game, as this game continues to go, the pitcher knows what pitch he needs to throw and what he's feeling better with that day. So you'll see probably a lot more changeups.
On the ground, and it's through the hole for a base hit. Aledmys Diaz is a 2-out base runner for Toronto.
That was another cutter. He's got a couple knocks on cutters right there, so maybe they're going to scrap that one for later in the game.
It gets past Dansby Swanson. His defensive game, if you watch him on a daily basis, has upgraded significantly.
Yeah, it has.
The Braves organization can't stop talking about how good Dansby Swanson looks at shortstop.
It's funny. You're looking at it from high overhead right here, and what screams to me is when I came up, it was Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, and you better catch every ground ball and turn every double play. And I look at it here, you see Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson, Johan Camargo, and then Enciarte in center field. They're so strong up the middle, but they have 3 shortstops. One has to play third, one has to play second. But with the way we shift in today's game, you better be versatile. You better be able to do what Ozzie Albies can do at second base. He went up the middle last night twice to get Mike Soroka out of some early jams. Dansby's been great, though.
That was the first thing Brian Snitker said to us this morning when we were in his office. The defense from last year to this year, next level. 0-1 to Devin Travis. They're giving that pitch.
Yeah, they got to, if he can, that's the thing is when you get that pitch, if you can establish it and continue to get it and throw it there, it's good. But you saw he tried to do it to Kendris and it didn't get in, and it ended up into the second deck.
So do you make an adjustment when you see that pitch is being given? Can you even really make much contact with a pitch that far outside the strike zone?
I get mad. I mean, what can you do?
I used to try and massage the home plate umpire as much as possible. I really did. I knew what my strengths and weaknesses were. Some of them were willing to talk to you and maybe change, and some were very, very staunch in that strike zone. If that's the case, then you have to make the adjustment.
As a catcher on the defensive side, I'm trying to figure out ways that I can continue to go to it, but just not all the time. I'm going to have to set up some pitches to get there. That was a weird target right there where he went up and away in that quadrant. I imagine, now there's so many hot zones we were talking about that. Up and away must be some kind of hole for Devin Travis.
Travis, and it's a foul ball.
Are you making that play? You're talking about athletic third basemen. You got that still?
Younger days, I'm making that play.
That's for you, from Steve.
Thank you, Steve Hampton. I tried my best when I was with the Braves. Can't say the same for when I was on the way out with the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm just kidding.
Dude, you had a great year with us. You were like the fountain of
honestly,
youth.
I know a lot of people from Canada are watching right now, but for the people for the United States and Southeast, Toronto is an amazing city. Amazing. I absolutely loved my year here.
Anibal Sanchez strikes out the side. He leaves Aledmys Diaz at first base, and Alex Anthopoulos, general manager of the Atlanta Braves, about to join us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. So last year, the Braves at this point were 34-38 through 72 games. This year, a National League best 43-29, and he's back home. Alex took over as general manager in 2010 and kept that job through 2015. The Blue Jays cracked the postseason for the first time in 21 years and hired by the Braves this past winter. And Atlanta is a first-place team, best record in the National League at the moment. And 4 of us now here in the broadcast booth will be taking questions. Alex Anthopoulos joining us right now on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Alex, thanks for swinging by. It's been a fun year. How you doing?
Good, good. A little snug, but you know.
You look good, though.
Enjoy this? Feeling good.
Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah, no, I less stress, I guess. I don't know. Being in LA, change, sculpt your body
Have
a
you
little
gone
bit.
vegan?
No. Just yeah, I don't know. You just get older, kids. I want to stay alive a little longer, so.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Alex, you ready for the questions to start rolling in?
Yeah,
so
sure.
Here's the first one. It's from Austin. He said, can you walk us through how trade discussions usually start? What does that first call look like? He said in parentheses, how does it typically play out on the phone?
Yeah, I'd say so. Initially, I'd say 10, 15 years ago when I was in AGM, it was more you would call. Now, I'd say 9 times out of 10, the first contact is text. No one emails. So, at least GM-wise, you normally send a text, hey, I want to find a lefty in the bullpen, anybody you talk about, or just you'll be blunt and say, would you talk about so-and-so? You might get a response, and then if you think it's got legs, you might get on the phone and talk a little bit more. So I'd say it starts on text a lot, and when things evolve, when you need to get on the phone and work through some things, especially as the deal expands.
I've heard emojis are a big deal now, too, and GIFs, all kinds of things going through the texts.
Yeah, you know when I've heard that was told that over the winter meetings? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Emojis to GMs, it's a little odd. You know, like, you don't know if the guy on the other end, he's got to maintain the relationship. Like, who the hell is this guy sending me this stuff?
Alex, I live in Atlanta. I've lived there almost 20 years now. I read the newspapers, follow all the social media. I think it's safe to say that Atlanta is a little ahead of schedule right now.
Yeah,
Does that change your entire mindset? Do you just say, hey, you know what, sometimes it's just your time and we push full throttle at the deadline? Or how hard is that to stay the course?
Yeah, great question. No, look, I totally agree. You know, look, I was here in Toronto a long time, and we sucked when you were here. You were not because of you. Sorry,
but you were aggressive. That's what we appreciate.
But I look back and just a lot of the decision making, the flaws. I know, Dero, you talked a lot about makeup, character, clubhouse, and you know, it's kind of like your parents tell you don't put your hand on the stove. You're like, yeah, that makes sense, and you stick your hand on the stove. So I had to live it and get my brains beat in a little bit, and you know, realize that at the end of 2014. I kind of got it. You know, it took me 2 years after you left to kind of get it. But really, there was a switch in the type of player we were going to go after and how much we were going to value defense and things like that. And I think I got a lot. I think I learned a ton from your mistakes, right? You know, I was more about tools and talent, and it's still talent-based, honestly. Yeah. But the other stuff's pretty important. So going to L.A. for a few years was huge. And
what's the biggest thing you took from L.A. here?
I think the prep. Getting ready to play a game, how much time we spent preparing for our opponents, and also it was a relentless approach to making guys better. You know, whether they're scuffling. My attitude before would have been, hey, you're not getting it done. Hey, maybe we need to make a trade or get somebody else in here. I think the approach there, and it was maybe because Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi came from clubs that didn't have a lot of money. Hey, we're going to come hell or high water. We're finding a way to get you fixed. We're going to find a way to make you better. And being around that was huge for me. So in terms of being more competitive and contending, and like you said, things are coming together for us well. I think we owe it to the players and to the guys in the city and the fans to be better. I mean, we didn't plan on Mike Soroka being up as early as he was, but we're rolling in New York. They're in first place. We're playing well. Guys are having good years. Like, don't lose the opportunity that's right in front of you. So, yeah, he's 20 and he's had 4 starts down there, but he's our best chance to win. Let's do it. And it's really been a day-to-day thing. So we're trying to win right now. I mean, we're still managing the long term, and we're always going to manage the long term, but we're definitely going to try to win. All right.
Peter Borges goes long.
It's genius playing.
And we are tied.
Genius.
2-2. Peter Borges with his first home run of the season pulls it over the wall. Similar spot to where Kurt Suzuki put his baseball. And 2 home runs on the Atlanta side. And we are even here in the top of the third. After the pop out from Camargo, we go back to the top of the order and Ozzy Albies. And this is where things get really dangerous.
Not afraid to throw a 4-seam heater, huh?
Well,
He's
that's
gotten shot twice.
A lot of heaters. A lot of heaters.
A lot of fastball.
Remember, it's kind of like a Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee used to come in here, throw a lot of heaters, and we'd hit a lot of homers. Today might be the same thing. These guys can break.
First pitch, Ozzy Albies, left field. And it's off the wall. Albies will cruise to second base and hang there. Teoscar Hernandez retrieves it. It is a 1-out double, and the Braves are in business here in the third. Let's get back to the questions, too.
Go ahead.
They are flowing. Keep those questions coming for Alex Anthopoulos. We'll mix as many of them in as possible. And this one's from Philip Merrill. Does the team have any plans on trading for a top-of-the-rotation guy or a power-hitting third baseman?
Top-of-the-rotation guy would love to get one. I don't know that one's out there on the market right now. I think things can change between now and July. There's some clearly defined sellers right now, but there's teams that are right on the cusp and in the middle, and they lose 5-6 in a row and they scuffle come July. I remember the year that we got Price. He was not available, and Detroit was right in the middle, and they finally, towards the end, maybe 5 days before the trade deadline, said, hey, we're going to move this guy. So things can change, but we don't think a front rotation guy is out there right now. And in terms of third base, we like Camargo. He's I know the average isn't there, but there's a lot of things well. He's got great arm, switch hit bat. He's walking more than he ever has. His minor league career is not indicative. It's not really an indicator of what he's done up here. He's made some changes. He's not the same guy, and we think he's got a chance to be an everyday third baseman. That's not to say if someone's an upgrade, we won't go do it, because Camargo can play all over the place. But so far right now, we want to give Camargo a lot of run and see what we have.
Well, you say the mindset, right? And as players, we used to talk about it. A decision that's made by the GM sends a message to the entire clubhouse. So you go and Mike Soroka, you guys call him up. Does that go into, for you, making decisions in the sense of, I know my guys are going to feed off of this as well?
I think it's important. I think, yes, you have, been around baseball long enough now that you have, there's the upstairs and the downstairs, and there's lines and all that kind of stuff. And look, you're going to be the one delivering bad news most of the time, but I do think once you get into the season, it's a partnership. These guys are grinding. They're putting you in a position to be competitive and be contending. You need to do something back. And the tough part is you need to manage that and also manage the long term, because you guys know, nobody down there cares about 2019, 2020, 2021. They want to win now. We're winning now. We're rolling. They're feeling it. And I get it too. So it's a tough act to balance. But I do think it's important to, it's a partnership. That's, we owe it to those guys to try to make the team better if we're still there come the end of July.
Freddie Freeman is tied up by Jay Happ. It's his second strikeout of the day. Can we keep you for a few more minutes to mix in some more questions? So here's one from Lance Ayers. Did you expect the team to gel so quickly this year? Offense, starters, and the bullpen have come together.
Yeah, you're right. That's a credit to, obviously John Hart's been running baseball operations here the last few years, and there's obviously players here from Frank Wren's time and even John Chirol's time. So they did an unbelievable job of the mix, the group of guys. And I talked about this a day ago. I started valuing the games played stat at the end of 2014 a lot more, just because you had guys that break your heart. In 2012, 13, they were tooled up and talented, and whether it was they weren't durable or they didn't want to post or they didn't feel like playing because a certain guy on the mound, guys like Nick Markakis, guys like Freddie Freeman, guys like Kurt Suzuki, go look at his games played when he's young in his career, and I asked him about it. Jason Kendall was the guy that taught him that. They bring a mindset and a mentality, and they hold guys accountable. And I believe in getting guys rest, and I believe in getting days off from time to time, but I do think it's a mentality. And Mark Burley showed me that as well. And it was great Braves teams.
The best.
They posted. And I think there's significant value to that. I know it's not on base and slug and runs created, but I think it's a real stat that has value. And that's part of bringing this thing together. Those are the guys that are established on this team. Those guys are the vets. And they're the ones that are the glue. And I think that's a credit to Sean Hart and everybody else. They're the guys that brought these players in here. So we're just trying to do what we can to help and make things better.
Let's have a look at the farm system while we're talking to General Manager Alex Anthopoulos. We'll take more questions for him. You can shoot them in the comment section. Also get some questions going for Brian Snitker. We'll talk to the manager of the Braves. It's a very Braves inning here in the third. Obviously, this list is loaded. And I'll tie it to a question from Ren Schmidt. He says, are the Braves willing to move some of their top 10 prospects to bring an elite bullpen arm like Brad Hand? But obviously, I know you can't talk about a player in particular, but just a big bullpen piece.
Yeah, we'd like to, every team, that's the thing about trading for the bullpen at the trade deadline, July. Every team has room to add a reliever, so everyone will be in play. If you're talking about third base or some other position, only so many contending teams will have a need at that spot. So I think the acquisition cost for a position player, depending on who it is, could be less than an impact arm out of the pen. In terms of what level of prospect, what someone views our top 10 and what we do, I mean, it's how you evaluate them. But I think we're open-minded, but look, the better the prospect that we would talk about, the more control we would expect to get back. I know that kind of stating the obvious, it goes without saying. Tough part is trading young players when it's for a rental player, especially with, I think there's a lot of upside to the market in Atlanta, and obviously D-Row knows a lot more about it than I do, but we're a mid-market club in terms of the payroll right now. Our 0 to 2 years of service time players, they're pretty important to us. They're pretty valuable. They're important in terms of depth. That's not to say we won't move them. We just have to be careful that we don't move too many, because we need them to sustain this thing. We don't want it to be 1 year and then it's over. And you know, if our payroll is at $200 million, all right, we might be able to be a little more aggressive with moving some of these guys. So it's not to say we won't be open to it. I just don't think you can see us move a ton, because we're going to need these guys for depth going forward.
Teoscar Hernandez strikes out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Brian Snitker is going to join us very soon. Just a couple more minutes with Alex Anthopoulos and a couple more questions from Eli. What's the most underrated roster move you think you've made?
Ooh. Charlie Culberson.
I didn't expect
that was
this.
Sneaky throwing him in that deal.
Yeah, trust me. I'd love to say, oh man, we knew it. I knew he'd be playing left field for us, hitting bombs, making great plays, slamming into the wall. He's been unbelievable. I give Snit a lot of credit for playing him. I mean, normally he's a guy that can hit a left-hander. He's hit some righties. He's had some big knocks. I knew the person, the makeup. The defense at shortstop is great. Obviously, we don't have a need there right now, but he was a guy in L.A. that, from a clubhouse standpoint, he was a connector with the Latin players and the American players. It was amazing to see. I mean, Puig, he really was able to connect with Puig and all the other players, and obviously the non-Latin players, they loved him as well. He's a great pro, great teammate, but we're getting way more offensively than I think he's done in his career, and we would have expected. And it's a credit to him. It's a credit to Snit for playing him.
Ball forward to Justin Smoke. He is a base runner for Toronto, and Kevin Pillar was not a base runner because Charlie Culberson robbed him yesterday and saved 2 runs. And Brian Snitker said, first of all, I'm shocked he made the catch just because he thought it was a home run at first. And second of all, he said, figured by the time I go out there, he'll be like, I'm healed, I'm good. So he didn't make the trip.
Yeah, I actually saw Charlie in the training room after. I said, it's pretty awesome. You're laying on your back, and then your arm came up with the glove and the ball. Like, he was still alive. So it was an awesome catch. And our defense has been a huge part of us having some success. And, again, I learned my lesson in 2015. I think as much as we got some big names, we became a better defensive club, and that was key. I like these people individually, but we had Danny Valencia and Chris Colabello on the corners at times, and Batista had a bump shoulder, and Reyes at shortstop, and we were scoring a ton of runs. We had MVP candidate in Donaldson, and Batista Encarnacion, and really talented club, but we lost a lot of tight games. We weren't as good as we needed to be defensively, and that was a real priority with the young arms that we had. We were going to try to nail it and be as solid a defensive club as we could.
Alex, let's finish with this, and then Brian Snitker joining us soon after the inning. A fun one from Derek. AA, who is the best golfer on the Braves?
Man, I got to tell you, this whole organization can golf, and I don't golf.
You don't golf?
No, I never got into it. I mean, I just never had time to do it.
Have you had sweet tea yet?
Yeah, I had sweet tea. I had sweet tea. I definitely
little
a little bit of the South. Yeah, so, but we have some people that can really golf. I mean, my boss, obviously, everybody in the organization can really golf. So when I get older, have time, I'll probably start.
You need to. Terry McGurk,
yeah,
you need to. He's dialed in.
Yeah, dialed in. I mean, I got to meet Smoltz and obviously Tom Glavine, Chipper. I mean, all the John Charles golfs a lot. I mean, they're all really good at it. So at some point I'm going to start.
Alex, thank you so much.
All
We
right.
appreciate the time, and we're about to talk to your manager. Brian
All right.
Snitker
Thanks,
is about
Alex.
to join us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch, so get those questions in. We really appreciate the time from the GM of the Braves. And don't worry, Blue Jays fans, we will talk to John Gibbons coming up very soon at the end of the 4th inning. So Snitker is getting mic'd up downstairs, and any questions you have for us, bring them on, as the Braves and the Blue Jays are tied up at 2 at the moment here in Ontario. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. That was awesome to have Alex in the booth for that. And now let's bring in Brian Snitker joining us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Brian, thanks for hopping on, and tell us what you've seen so far from Anibal Sanchez, not just today, but some of what you spoke to us about this morning, how good he has looked this season.
Just what we've seen today. I mean, he gave up the 1 homer, but it's just kind of, little hill here, little there, painting the corners, changing speeds. I mean, the guy, like I told you this morning, he knows what he's doing.
Hey, Snit, D-Row here. I want to ask you about Kurt Suzuki and this catching tandem you got running out here. Not wasting any time jumping on a 0-0 heater and driving it out of the park. He has seemed to have found like a power chord in Atlanta.
It's unbelievable. I mean, and I heard him last year talking about he had made an adjustment in his swing, and I mean, the guy, he started out, had a really, really good year. I said we had a silver slugger catcher last year if we combined both of them with the homers and RBIs. And he jumped right back into spring training and didn't miss a beat. I mean, he's playing like he's rejuvenated, or he's doing a great job behind the plate. They both, I think, have improved their catching as far as the stealing strikes and stuff like that. And then they've been swinging a bat too.
One more quickie before we let you go. Brian, when do you expect Acuna to be back? This from Zach on Facebook.
Well, I think if everything going forward, he should start a rehab at the end of the week, and then we'll kind of just play it by ear. Give him 3 or 4 days, see where he's at, see how his timing is. But it's going to be sooner than later.
Thank you so much, Brian.
You
Good
got
luck
it, guys.
the rest of the way.
Thanks, appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Snit.
Brian Snitker, who took over as manager back in May of 2016. We get started with the top of the 4th inning. Jay Happ working against Nick Markakis, the designated hitter, who bounced out in his first at-bat. Snitker's first MLB managerial gig. I looked back. He was 60 years old. He's now 62 years old. He earned it. Third base coach for many years with the Braves. Minor league manager.
Yeah. And everybody's come through, played under Brian Snitker in the minor leagues. There was a lot of people very happy when he got a chance to become the manager of the Atlanta Braves. But both of these teams, I mean, we got a chance just right now. Alex Anthopoulos is he puts himself out there. It's so refreshing. John Gibbons, Brian Snitker, Walt Weiss. I mean, the list goes on of just quality men.
Fasano.
Yeah, both franchises doing it right.
You know what's crazy to me is that he says when I get older, I may take up golf.
Roll it ashore to Ledmes Diaz.
Wait, this is the.
Is he younger than me?
Well, that's the thing. When he says that, I'm going, what do you mean when you get older you're playing golf? I'm thinking, you're an established executive. I mean, he's still really young in this game, and he's done a lot of things, and obviously now one of the most respected executives in the game.
It seems like LA really helped him out. The whole analytic movement, what he could bring to Atlanta, how to make players better. That was what jumped out at me during the interview. Not just a quick, hey, this guy ain't getting it done, let's get him out of there. No, let's make him better.
Another ground ball out for Jay Happ. It's Yanhevi Solarte making the play. So after Markakis bounces out to short, Suzuki goes to third, and now Charlie Culberson comes up.
Well, I appreciate that as a young guy. As a young guy coming up into the league, you're always worried about what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, am I going to be here? Am I not? That's one thing we talked about before the game yesterday was he said, I've started to learn, too, to realize when I tell a guy to go out there and he's going to play every day, how much better, just don't worry about anything, go play baseball, how much better results we yield from guys like that.
We getting asked any questions, Scott?
Tons of questions.
Can we answer some?
We can, although we like to do that partially in between innings, too. I'm mixing them in. We had about 2,000 for Alex Anthopoulos. I'm glad we got 12 of them in there. Here's one for you. I found one just for you, Mark.
All right.
Because you asked. Never mind. We'll get it later. I'm a tease.
See, that's a difference right there too. You see Russell Martin, his target's high, and when you miss, you're able to put a bat on it. That's the difference between being able to execute an elevated fastball and the ball creeping down a little bit. See, they're going right back up there, and if he gets it in the right spot, he'll swing under it.
Here's one. Gregory, who do you see as the best logical trade partner for J. Happ, as some of the other commenters are pointing out? Yes, Happ has given up the couple homers, but efficient. He's given this team length, strikeouts. This is going to be a helpful starter for a playoff contender. Also, while we're at it, from Mark, this is what I was talking about. His grandson in Fresno, when he was playing for the Giants, thrilled, great visit. His grandson met you.
I'm shocked. I appreciate that, because that was right at like almost the demise of my career, rehabbing for 21 days in Fresno. So I was not a happy camper. So I appreciate you saying I was nice there. I must caught me on a good day. Hey,
after a big breakfast.
Getting back to Happ, two teams jump out to me. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies, because he's got history there with Philly.
Happ gets the strikeout. It's his third, and we'll get back to that conversation. Let's check in with our social media reporter, Alexa Datt. Alexa?
Hey, Scott. Well, more social elements from around the league that I wanted to share with you guys, because all these baseball players are having tons of fun. So I wanted to start with Nick Swisher, who has been absolutely having a blast, and on his way to Yankee Stadium before Old Timers Day, before he hit that home run. He was touring the city. Then we've got Jonathan Loaisiga, who's celebrating his debut, as Didi posted that photo. Young Delano DeShields at Dodger Stadium when he was just a young boy. How about Blake Snell coming with the fire cleats, these Simpson cleats? I know everyone would love to have a pair of these. Yadier Molina sharing a tribute to his father on Father's Day. Pretty amazing to see that. Kenta Maeda making a baby announcement. A lot of guys are hitting baseballs now with the pink or blue explosion. He took a little low-key approach there. Seth Lugo playing at Shinnecock Hills, site of this year's U.S. Open. Pretty cool. And David Ross in retirement, teaching the game to some of the younger students of the game. Pretty cool. And then we all know Miguel Cabrera out for the season, so some of his teammates were showing some love. Joe Jimenez, Dixon Machado, and Leonis Martin. By the way, guys, 15 years ago today, Miguel Cabrera made his major league debut. His first hit, a walk-off home run. Pretty incredible. One other thing I wanted to add, Kendrys Morales is celebrating his 35th birthday, like you guys pointed out. He said that one of the biggest things was that when he was younger, talent and power really, drove him, and now it's more playing with his head. I also asked what he wants for his birthday, and he said to go 4 for 4. But I feel like the home run, he'll take that. Plus, he said he doesn't want 35 candles on the cake in the clubhouse, but he would prefer that it be a cappuccino flavor. Hey, Mark, JP, what was your best birthday that you guys ever celebrated in the majors?
Oh, man. Mine was always in the off-season,
mine's
so I got
off-season
no
as well.
run. I was usually headed right down to spring training, February 26th. So Alexa, give me a nice steak dinner with a seafood tower and house cab.
Must be nice that you were going down February 20th. I was already there catching bullpens for 2 weeks. My birthday's in January, so I got double duty birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. So
you got ripped.
Wasn't a fan of that.
Kendrys Morales still has a shot at his goal, too. First at-bat home run. He can go 4 for 4 today. He does this kind of damage on his birthday. We just showed you the stat, 10 for 28 career numbers on his birthday, 4 home runs.
Birthday magic.
See if he has it against Anibal Sanchez on an 0-2 count. He has struck out 5 batters this afternoon. Second time through the order for Sanchez. The batting average shoots up about 100 points. Here's one from Mike. When you came up, I thought you were Ben Affleck's doppelganger.
I appreciate that. That's better than what I've gotten on the street occasionally.
What do you get on the street?
I've gotten Ben Affleck before, but I've gotten Adam Sandler as well. I swear.
So what did you say?
I want Adam Sandler's bank account, but not his mug.
So what do you respond to that?
Thank you, I guess. Walk away
with the confused emoji look, like okay.
Look at Morales from 0-2 to 3-2 against Sanchez. And we'll see if he has more birthday magic.
I don't think that they're on the same page, and Suzuki's getting really frustrated right there.
Would you call timeout? An answer in the comment section, too. Is this a good time to call timeout? You get 6 of them now in today's game. A new rule implemented for this season. No one uses them anymore. 3-2 on its way. It's downstairs. Ball 4 to Kendrys Morales. His day is off to a great start.
Yeah, Kurt and Annabelle right there were not really seeing eye to eye. He wanted to go back in to Kendrys, and Annabelle obviously wanted to continue to go away. So obviously that's a situation when it gets to that point where you guys are obviously not on the same page and unhappy with each other. I think you got to be able to call timeout, go out there and say, okay, what do you want?
Why not call timeout?
He's giving you 5 inches off the inside half.
Well, that's
he's proven you can throw that paralyzing two-seamer.
Well, and as a catcher, that's why you sit back there and you're going, dude, I know this is where you need to throw this ball. I know this is where you need to throw this ball. And it's no. It's like, all right, well then here you go. Have fun. I can't make him throw it.
We'll talk to former catcher John Gibbons right after the inning. Questions for the Blue Jays manager, bring them to us in the comments section, and we'll mix a few of them in during our conversation with a cool, calm manager for the Blue Jays.
I have a good story about that. Coco Cordero, remember big slider guy, closer?
Yeah.
Well, we're playing the Anaheim Angels, and Mike Trout is up, and I said, hey, I know you like to throw your slider a lot. This guy absolutely kills sliders. And he goes, yeah? And I'm like, yes, so let's go fastballs. So I go out there, throw the fastball, shakes me off, throws the slider, and he hits it into the second deck.
But he hasn't hit my slider yet. Well, yeah, he has.
Pilar pops out to Freeman, 1 away.
The life of a catcher, you get to, hey, this is what I think you need to throw. Yeah, okay, and then I go back there, throw something different, and then when it hits the seats, I'm going, I kind of want, you want to say I told you so, but then I'm still upset because that's a run against our team. So.
And you take pride in that, right? You're looking at how many runs are going against your squad just because you're not the pitcher.
Every day. I mean, my job is to get that pitcher through the game with a goose egg on the scoreboard. And when he scores runs, that used to take that to heart. I mean, I'm the guy that's back there putting down the sign. So, you can only do so much. Like I said, I've put down a sign 3 times, and they shake. I'm like, all right, well then, go get them.
We did a game earlier this year where I spoke to Gabe Kapler before a Phillies ball game, and he told me how devastated Jorge Alfaro was after, it wasn't that game, after his pitching staff had given up, I believe, double-digit runs. He said, I mean, he was just shot in the clubhouse after the game. Took it very personally.
Well, for me, it started when I got up to the big leagues. I obviously had my debut. I thought I was going to be playing every day. Well, I caught a few games, and the Red Sox beat the brakes off us. And Cito Gaston actually was talking about maybe, he needs a little time off to learn how to call a game. And it killed me because I was like, man, that's my fault. That's what I've been doing as a catcher. And so for me, that always stuck. And it's like, we do take a lot of pride in that. And again, there's times where you make a comment or you call a pitch, they shake and they throw something else, and it's obviously works out for the better,
Sanchez didn't get that last pitch.
No, that one was a little too far off. But here's the thing. You can continue to go back to the well, right? Like that fastball's just off. Now he'll maybe move it a little bit closer, still off the plate, and he'll get it because he got a pitch earlier in this at-bat that was off the plate.
We'll see if he goes for that same spot. 3-2 on its way to Martin. And he misses. That's the second walk worked by a Blue Jay here in the 4th. Morales moves up to second. Now Randall Grichuk, who struck out back in the 2nd inning.
He's an interesting case for me. I know you love him, but here's a guy, this is what you look for. A guy who shows up to work every day is going to give you his heart and soul. He's got light tower pop. He can run. He could do so many things on a baseball field, but it hasn't totally come together. Been a lot of peaks and valleys.
So when St. Louis let him go, I was shocked because, wow, if you're getting those calls.
Dude, that's not
another
even,
one.
That's close. I'll continue on Grichuk. What I'm getting at is at some point it has to come together. And we talk about guys moving, change of scenery, the grass isn't greener. For some people it is. I felt like when I got out of the Atlanta Braves organization, it freed me up. I played tense for them. I never felt Bobby thought I was an everyday guy, or sometimes certain guys need a change of scenery. I'm interested to see how Randal Grichuk responds. I know he's gotten off to a slow start. He's been absolutely hammering the ball lately, but this is a good ballpark and a good team for him to like cut his teeth in.
Well, we had the conversation. The best month he had in the big leagues is when Matheny sat him down and said, hey, you're our everyday guy. You're going out there regardless. Whatever happens, you're every day. And he said he went off. And now he came into Toronto. At the beginning, he said he was pressing because he wanted to show the fans, hey, this is what I can do. I'm getting my chance. I get to play every day. And he went on the DL, and he said he had some time to kind of just chill out, relax, and he's come back, and he's just been like, man, I'm done with all that stuff, right? You know how hard it is mentally when you're trying to go out there and do big things. This is a tough game. And so he's gone out there and been able to kind of relax. I think it's helped him make more contact. His brain is a little bit freer, and all of a sudden he's hitting balls into the second deck.
2-2. And Grichuk connects to left field. He's in business. Morales is going to come around and score, and Grichuk will be stationed at second with an RBI double. The Blue Jays take a 3-2 lead.
Fastballs. He's not missing the fastballs. There's another fastball that comes in. He's hitting close to 400 since he's come back on fastball.
I want to ask the fans a question now. Did we get someone going in Atlanta's pen? Has Anibal Sanchez done enough? This is interesting right here. This game can get away from you in a hurry.
I'll give you the stat. First time against a batting order, Sanchez this season, 136 batting average against. Second time through, it spikes up to 292, almost a 300 batting average second time around. And we're seeing it. The Morales walk, Pilar popped out, a free pass from Martin, and the RBI double from Grichuk. Now number 8 hitter, Aledmys Diaz.
You might not see him give him anything here and try to play for a double play right here.
Travis.
I mean, that's the one thing. You know you have that base open and you can mess around.
He's swinging center field in Ciarte. Keeps moving into park under it, make the catch. We'll see if Martin is in there, and he is sliding head first for a 4-2 Toronto lead. The sacrifice fly from Aledmys Diaz.
Those are the things that I could see now more than I did before when I was playing. 2-0 pitch, throws him a breaking ball, good pitch that hits it in the air.
Yep.
But I would have been sitting on the breaking ball as opposed to being dead red right there now that I'm watching the game.
2 more runs for the Blue Jays after a 2-run first, thanks to the Kendrys Morales home run. Grichuk's double and the sac fly from Diaz. Now Devin Travis. He struck out back in the first, and he's connecting on first pitch in Ciarte. Camping back this time. And we are through 4. Many early hacks, but it's working for Toronto. They lead at 4-2. We're taking your questions right now for John Gibbons, so roll them through the comments section. He is going to join us, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. His 6th year in his second stint, overall 10 seasons managing Toronto. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Scott Braun with you, JP Arancibia, Mark DeRosa, Alexa Dad, our social media reporter, and John Gibbons being set up on the headset right now. We'll take a few questions for him before we get back to the top of the 5th inning. First, some standings in the American League East. This division is difficult at the top. Powerhouse programs, I call them.
And they're just going to keep distancing themselves. They're just too stacked.
And here comes John Gibbons, and it's his favorite question. It just keeps coming, so I'll throw it in there to start us off. It's from Alan. John, will we get to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. this year? It's your fave.
Well, not anytime soon because he's hurt right at the moment, so not for the next month.
Let me ask
But
you.
I am tired of hearing that question.
I know you're tired of it. I know. I've asked it to you on the radio, on television, all over the place. What do you think about the strike zone today? A lot of complainers on Facebook about outside part of the plate to right-handed batters.
Well, you know what? Actually, from where I'm sitting, you can judge up and down. It's tough to tell in and out. I haven't heard too much complaining. Pitchers don't mind it, that's for sure. But, you got a veteran umpire back there. You never know. It might be a travel day. They got to catch a flight. Who knows?
Hey, what do you got when you were riding the lineup today? Were you going a little birthday magic for Kendrys Morales?
Oh, yeah. He got up to a good start with a 2-run homer. Plus, it's also Paul Beeston's birthday, so it's a big day for the old Blue Jays. And I guarantee you Paul's got a bud in his hand and celebrating it.
It's a great day. John, thanks for hanging with us for a few minutes. Good luck the rest of this game.
All right, boys.
John Gibbons with us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. He is just so cool, calm, and relaxed no matter what. You can see him when the team's up 16 games in the division, down 16 games in the division, feet kicked back in the office. It's always a fun hang.
Scott, last year here, 2013, he would call me over on the bench and always, what would you do in this situation? What would Bobby Cox do in this situation? I loved playing for the man. You wanted to run through a wall for him.
Inciarte to left. And retired by Hernandez.
Yeah, he was definitely a guy for me, especially my last year here. I kind of struggled a little bit. He was the way he went about the business every single day. I mean, like you said, he was so even keel. And what I love is his voice. Hey, you get in and you're waiting to hear the "Hey JP, what you got going on today?" I'm like, "Well, give you. I'm hoping that I'm playing. That's what I got going on."
This was the big man from yesterday, Johan Camargo, a career-high 5 RBIs in yesterday's game, an 11-4 victory. It's a 2-game series. And the Braves in the 9 spot in this series, Camargo and Borges, a combined 5 for 6, 2 home runs, and a double.
What do you got on him, D-Row? I'm glad that they're giving him a chance they're giving him some rope and just saying, hey, go with it. But I mean, this guy went third deck and he doesn't look that big.
Alex told you during his interview, the minor league numbers weren't eye-popping. I mean, some of these guys come through the minor leagues super quick, and their numbers are just off the charts. This is a guy that's hit every level, has grinded his way. Is he a shortstop? Is he a third baseman? Talking to Chipper Jones, and he's an advisor for these guys, he's been talking Johan Camargo up for about 2 years. He said, keep an eye on this guy. He's coming, and obviously not disappointed. What I love about him is he's eliminating the noise. All you hear about in Atlanta is we need bullpen help and we need a miraculous power hitting third baseman. And he's played well yesterday. We showed up. It was Mike Soroka Day in Canada. And Johan Camargo staked them to a 4-0 lead and took the pressure off him early with that grand slam.
Pulls it on a couple bounces to Solarte, and there's 2 down.
You know, I think that's one time when you have an advantage to maybe not knowing English as much as the other person. Honestly, I think that's a big play, man. Some of these guys don't understand what is being said, right? I mean, and they don't really care to, because this is a guy who's coming off an island. He ain't worried about all that jibber jab. But I know you hear it, right?
Yeah.
People ask you questions, but
you can't not, because it's big names. It's not. It's Mike Moustakas. It's Manny Machado. It's potentially Josh Donaldson if healthy. I mean, we're talking about big time players.
yeah, I guess. I mean, it's.
Did he just strike that?
Yeah, he did. That was a. I just sit here.
Wow.
I'm glad I don't have a bat today. Oh. And it's tough to cover the top of the strike zone and the bottom of the strike zone and the off the plate away.
I'm all for having a zone be a little. I'm a pitcher's umpire. I really am. But you can't have everything. I can't give you in, out, up, and down off the plate.
The horizontal leeway today is incredible.
That's because when D-Row played, these guys were going line to line. He used to come to the field with chariots. He used to come. That's how he used to come to the yard in Atlanta. So nowadays, you know what? Here's the thing. They try to say about this electronic strike zone. How many times have you seen breaking balls hit the dirt that go through the strike zone?
Martin gives it a look, and that's going to the second row. So it's 1-2 to Borges. His first home run back in the third inning.
I wonder what the fans think about that, the electronic strike zone.
Oh, you want to get the comment section going.
Yeah.
That's
like
a good
the Q&A.
question for them. What do you think, fans? Umpires or robots? Computers.
I just seen too many times that I've seen it. A curveball
AI
go through
umpires.
Still need an umpire back there.
Exactly.
How do you? So if there's who do you talk to? Like if it's a bad pitch.
You seen Westworld?
This is Borges from earlier. He goes long. Again, the bottom of the order for the Atlanta Braves thriving. In last night's game, bottom 3 hitters, Culberson, Inciarte, Camargo, 9 for 13. 2 home runs, including the grand slam from Camargo, and 9 RBIs. And Jay Happ rings up the number 9 hitter, Borges. And we are through 4.5 innings. It's a 4-2 Toronto Blue Jays lead. JP Arancibia dipping out for a moment. He is going to join you in the comments section. He will be typing fast and furious on the tablet. Any questions you have for JP Arancibia, get them in. Mark DeRosa and I are going to talk about the all-star candidates for the Atlanta Braves.
Braves country is killing this voting period right now. These guys are so deserving this season. They've been so much fun to watch, the success we've seen, and it's reflecting in these votes.
Swing and a drive. It's a grand slam. And there is your leading vote getter to make the All-Star team at second base.
I mean, 633,000 votes. Are you kidding me, you guys?
Pretty unbelievable that people are going out there and voting for me. Well deserved. I mean, especially you look at Oz, Cakes, and Freddie. The consistency in which they played and how much they've impacted our team, not only on the field, but in the clubhouse as well. I mean, it's really tremendous what they've been able to do, and I'm glad that other folks are recognizing that.
In every single position that you guys are able to vote for, there's an Atlanta Brave, either at number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Yes, Atlanta's voting. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star ballot is now open and exclusively online. You can vote for your favorite players at MLB.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox and ESPN Radio. And here's the ballot, posted by Major League Baseball. Your leaders in the National League, I count 1, Freddie Freeman, 2, Ozzie Albies, 3, Nick Markakis, Atlanta Braves, and one of their big rivals in the division. That's right, he was on the team last year. One of their rivals in the division, the Washington Nationals, DC, hosting the All-Star game. Do you think Nationals fans would love to see all the Braves in the starting lineup?
I think it's an electric team right now. Ozzie Albies has got his work cut out for him. He got off to that amazing start. He struggled a little bit there. Took a little bit of a valley. You got guys like Scooter Gennett, Javi Baez, some good second basemen potentially coming for him. What I'm blown away at is, listen, the peers, the 749 other baseball players, they know how electric and how talented Freddie Freeman is. But the fans have come out, and for him to be the leading vote getter, that is a huge, huge tip of the cap. Huge respect to the fans and the people voting, because they're getting it right.
And we pinned in the comments section, which Braves and Blue Jays do you see on the All-Star team this year? So let us know.
I'd really love to see Nick Markakis. I mean, for a guy who's grinded and, you know, not getting the respect the first half he's had, for him to get a chance to go, that would be huge. Whether he starts or doesn't, just he deserves to be an All-Star.
Teoscar Hernandez went around. And a strikeout for Jay Happ. Let's go right to Alexa.
All right, Scott, you guys were just showing the All-Star voting as it stands right now. So we have a question, and Zero, I'm going to ask this to you. This is from Will Anderson, who's watching us on Facebook. What are the chances Suzuki makes it to the All-Star game? He's currently behind Buster Posey and Wilson Contreras.
You know what? That's an interesting call, Alexa, because his numbers are certainly worthy, and what he did, his body of work last year, you would think would carry over and get people talking, but that's tough. Buster Posey's an institution with 3 World Series, obviously, batting titles, MVPs, and Wilson Contreras, probably the most athletic catcher in baseball. So I'm going to say no, but that's up to the other manager if he wants to take him.
Sanchez struck out Hernandez. Now smoke is up. Alexa, any more?
Yeah, this is from Candace, who said, for as many years as the Braves have been rebuilding, it's awesome to see them having a great year. Just a nice comment from a Braves fan. Brandon wants to know, D-Row, what's your best Greg Maddux story?
The one that just popped in my head, I can't tell on the air.
Not even close, not even a PG version?
Yeah, let me give you a PG version. All right, I'm in Arizona. It was called Bank One Ballpark at the time. I get my first big league hit, 1998, and we're in the shower. It's getaway day. We're in the shower, and he's talking super close to me, like congratulating me. But it's awkwardly close for being in the shower. And I start hearing some snickers, and I look down, and he is on my leg.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like it was like, here's your welcome moment.
Only on Facebook.
Oh, there you go. First ballot Hall of Famer doing that stuff to a rookie. Could have damaged.
With that,
could have
wasn't
damaged
quite
me.
PG.
Yeah. What way did you want me to go with it?
No, you did it. You did it. I'm proud of you. Alexa, one more?
Yeah, one more. I don't know if you guys still have an appetite, but this is from Lee Renee, who said, what's better on French fries, ketchup or gravy?
Wow, that's both.
I'm straight ketchup.
Are you
It's not
really?
even close?
Do
Yeah.
the disco fries. Do the gravy and cheese.
Okay.
You won't be disappointed.
Season high 7 strikeouts for Sanchez. This is Solarte, 0 for 2, a strikeout, and he grounded into a double play back in the 3rd.
I could use some fries up here right now.
We go straight through.
Do we really? I'm starving.
No breaks. And then after the game, live on my Instagram account, @ScottBraun. Any questions that you're trying to get to Mark DeRosa or JP and Arancibia that do not get answered, we answer almost all of them on the post game on Instagram Live. Just follow the account, @ScottBraun. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Anibal Sanchez against Yangervis Solarte. Last inning was a struggle for him. Morales walked. He was brought in by Randall Grichuk with the RBI double. Also burned by a walk to Russell Martin. The sac fly from Aledmys Diaz made it 4-2.
I think my question to the fans with the Toronto Blue Jays, with seeing Kelvin Herrera get traded from the Royals to the Nationals early this week, are the fans okay with, or do they think it's time for the Blue Jays to start moving some pieces? Obviously, you got to get a healthy Donaldson back. That would certainly help, but do you wait to the deadline? Do you take it to the, that 11th hour, or do you make a move here in mid to late June? Kind of jump the system a little bit.
Like the Kansas City Royals did with Kelvin Herrera. Exactly. And that is ball 40 on Yangervis Solarte, by the way. So Anibal Sanchez, after striking out the first 2 batters, has a 2-out base runner to deal with. And now the number 4 hitter, Kendrys Morales, who homered off him back in the 1st. Kelvin Herrera moved a couple days ago from the Royals to the Nationals, and part of the game plan was if we move him a month earlier than most teams are doing, we can get a little bit more in our return.
And on the flip side, the Nats get an extra month. With him and Doolittle back into that bullpen, they certainly have, and that's exactly what the Atlanta Braves need. Maybe a little bullpen piece, and Washington beats you to the punch and shows you a little bit of respect because they're jumping out there quick and they realize you're not going away.
I know you're a big fan of that. Why wait, you always say?
Well, if you know what you need and you're only giving up 3 minor leaguers that are in A-ball, I mean, you got to trust the scouts, right? That's why you hire good people around you.
We'll see how dialed in Kendrys Morales is for at bat number 3. Today's goal, 4 for 4. 1 for 1, but 2 for 2 in terms of reaching base. 2-run home run, his 6th of the season back in the 1st, and the walk, and there is another base hit.
There was the butterfly.
That is the butterfly
pitch right there.
La Mariposa from Anibal Sanchez, and usually they don't touch it. It throws hitters off, timing-wise. It's something that he developed back in the postseason in 2012, and he's been using it more frequently as a weapon, and Morales lined it up. reaching base for a third consecutive time. He is 2 for 2.
I mean, we know the Braves. You look at them, their bullpen has, I don't want to say overachieved, but they've done real well with some brand name guys out there. But they're protective of that bullpen as well. And do you really step out for a Brad Hand? Do you step out for a Zach Britton? It's tough because I'm telling you, living in Atlanta and following their prospects, they got some darn good guys that you wouldn't want to give up.
It's not just a young bullpen, though. It's a bullpen that features many young arms that have dealt with injuries.
Yes.
So the long-term concern in September is there. Sharply hit to Swanson. He goes the short way to second, and Kevin Pillar is retired, and so are the Blue Jays here in the 5th. So 5 innings from Sanchez, and the Braves trailing 4-2 at this point to Toronto. Let's get to your prime 9 plays on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Left side, going to be a tough play for Escobar. The fadeaway throw in time.
The patented jump lead Derek Jeter throw in the hole.
Man, you can't draw that up any better for Matt Cook. Looked like it was going to get past him. He gobbles it up.
And what came out wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I had the leg, I had the setup, and I had the leg, and I had everything. And I think when you're 6'6", it makes it hard for the ball to travel.
Gordon lashes that one down the left field line. Long run, Gallo. It's a foul ball, and it's a sliding catch.
Zoom in on him, please.
Not going to be good.
No, it's good. It's a little chewy.
Wants the face.
Yeah.
Wants the face.
Welcome back to the big leagues. How about that? Sent down to the minor leagues to work on his stroke for a few days.
Orlando Arcia, welcome back.
3-2 from Chafin. Into right field. That's a base hit. Here comes McCutchen. Giants win it. Headed towards the plate, makes the catch, runner tags, and Segura holds. Bad throw, Maldonado dives, Segura coming, tag at the plate, out at the plate. Made an incredible catch, flipped it to the plate. Haniger to left, that ball's deep, that ball's gone! And Mitch Haniger has done it again!
We've had some exciting games so far in our run, MLB Live on Facebook Watch, and you want some excitement? Well, baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer are back-to-back. The action begins at the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern, then catch baseball's biggest stars at the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's start the 6th inning. Jay Happ against Ozzie Albies in the top of the order for Atlanta. You see his work so far in 58 pitches, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. I call Jay Happ's career multiple personalities because he was a guy who struck out many batters but was inefficient early on in his career. Eventually became more of a ground ball pitcher and was getting deeper into games. Now you're seeing a little bit of both.
It's fastball command, Scott, for me. Obviously, Atlanta has got an ambush mentality today. They're coming out of the box swinging. That's why you're seeing only 60 pitches here.
Weak contact from Albies, and Solarte, excuse me, retires him for the first out.
But he's deceptive. You really rarely see. He's not afraid to throw his fastball. It comes down to guys when they're going to have big games. I really believe this. You can't nickel and dime your way through entire ball games. You have to establish a fastball and then work off of that. And that's been the moniker of this guy's career.
Now up against Dansby Swanson.
And a great teammate. Every time, how I judge a great teammate is every day you walk in that clubhouse door, am I getting the same thing? Good, bad, indifferent, but are you the same guy? Playing with Jay Happ, you knew exactly a prepared, cared teammate on the bench when he wasn't pitching, did all the little things. He does all the little things that make you want to play super hard behind him.
Shane Carl getting warm. Two balls and 2 strikes. And we hope you had fun with JP Arancibia in the comments section. He is rejoining us. Back to a 3-man booth.
Well, hello.
How did it go?
There were some good questions. I said I like key lime pie is my favorite flavor.
Strike 3 call to Swanson.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, Mr. Umpire, I have that ball inside.
I mean, look at Swanson's reaction to this.
The tough part is, as a hitter, if I look at the umpire and I go, hey, that was brutal, and the umpire said, you're right, I missed it. All right, I'm good. I'm good. But when they say that, no, that's on the corner. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's on the corner.
Wait, we might. What's the over-under on an injection today? It's going to eventually get a boiling point for somebody.
I'm surprised we haven't seen it. There's been more barking, I think, in the booth than we've seen on the field. Home plate umpire today is Mike Winters. It's a great day to be a catcher, though, right, JP?
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman is a left-handed bat who rakes against left-handed pitching. Do not go low in the zone against him if you're a lefty like Jay Happ. There are not many places. Actually, middle is the best spot on the heat map, believe it or not, if you're a left-handed pitcher against Freddie Freeman.
He's amazing because he's choked up a little bit. He looks like he's trying to just manipulate the ball all around the ballpark, but yet he can jump ship and go deep on you in a hurry. I listened to interviews of Joey Votto talk about hitting, and he said, let the ball be your result. Freddie lets the ball be his result. I mean, he really does. I'm shocked. I'd love to see all the numbers on the shifts, because it seems like it would be very simple for him to just push something through the left side right here with only a Ledmus Diaz at shortstop.
He grounded into the shift in his first at-bat. Next 2 at-bats for Freeman have been strikeouts, so Jay Happ handling him, and he has been tough against left-handed bats this year. 164 batting average coming into the game for left-handed hitters against him, so.
Little slide piece right there. Freddie does a great job left on left of keeping his front shoulder and front hip in. Right there you saw him a little bit out in front with that front side pulled off and couldn't keep his hands back.
Oh, it sets that up. Is that fastball
up and in?
Up before that slider. It comes out of the same tunnel as we've talked about, or they've talked about before. It comes out of that tunnel, and all of a sudden you think it's a fastball, and it's a slider.
All right, Mark DeRosa, headset off.
Okay.
Head to the comments section. Any questions for Mark DeRosa? If you watched him back in his Atlanta Braves days, 1998, his debut with the team. Whatever you want to know about the current team or the past teams that he was a part of, get it in the comment section right now and fire away. And for us, we have had quite a day on Instagram. Let's run through my story. Well, it started with the hotel view. That was pretty sweet, JP. Then we get to the ballpark bright and early. I was here around 8:30 in the morning. Behind the scenes with John Gibbons. Our usual conversation with him, always a blast. Same with Brian Snitker. And then we also caught up with Marcus Stroman, who you're going to see this weekend.
Instagram superstar Marcus Stroman. What'd you have for breakfast?
French toast, some bananas on top, sliced. Omelet, bacon, egg, and cheese. Coffee always.
That's it?
Orange juice.
Snack. It's funny, he acted like he had almost nothing to say. He was like, and then he just kept going.
Dude, biggest breakfast I've ever heard of. See, that's the good genetic part right there. If you do that, if I do that and I eat like that, I got no, I'm gaining 10 pounds within the day.
That was a quick peek at the broadcast booth before we sat down. And here we are. And you posted a picture, right?
I did. I posted a couple pictures and a picture of us.
What's the account?
It is JP Arancibia 44.
Nice and simple. Shane Carl in the game. And he replaces Sanchez.
This is the, for me, the inning that's so big, right? We were talking about the Jays and their struggles in the bullpen. You know, Shane Carl comes in here. This is an inning that can be a swing inning. You can keep this game 4-2, or the Blue Jays can score some runs and get out of it.
Weekly hit to short. There's Swanson.
It's tough. You know, you see the 6th inning has to be able to gap that, and the Blue Jays, after losing their closer, haven't had the opportunity to bridge that gap with a quality reliever, and that's why the Braves are where they're at, because they have a guy with a 2 ERA.
Shane Carl, 206 earned run average. Not big strikeout numbers. Last time we saw him was Sunday against the Padres. Gave up 2 hits, but went unscathed in his 1 inning of work. And the bullpen ranks for the Braves. Walks have been the problem. A young staff still working on control.
Yeah, we'll see how it works with our umpire today, because I think that walks probably won't be a problem in this case. But hey, you have a lot of young guys. A lot of guys are getting used to their roles, and it'll take time. But these guys will. The good thing is when you're walking, that means also sometimes you have a lot of really good stuff. So the ball's moving all over the place.
A lot of movement right there to Randall Grichuk, who's behind. 0-2, and a lot of pitches coming from Shane Carl. Unconventional that you have to prepare for so many pitches. 4-seamer, slider, changeup, sinker, and he uses a curveball. See what he dials up on 0-2. Grichuk doesn't bite.
I mean, I feel like everybody now, it's like everyone has 7 pitches. Everyone throws in the mid-90s. It's like, dude, no wonder why offensive numbers are down. You know, you have to combat 7 different pitches and good pitches.
But home run numbers the past few seasons are way up. Strikeout numbers also way up.
Well, mistakes go very far, and that's the thing as well. That breaking ball he's missing off the plate, but a breaking ball that hangs over the plate creates a lot of backspin off the bat, and those balls don't come back. So it's kind of the give or take.
Freddie Freeman in foul ground. Plenty of space and backing up. And Grichuk is the second out. Now Aledmys Diaz. Pretty packed house today at Rogers Center, and why not? It's not even too hot. We're in the low 70s.
In Fahrenheit. I still don't understand the old Celsius to Fahrenheit, how they convert. I'm always on the Fahrenheit. Tell you what, Aledmys has done a good job coming in and playing shortstop. That's not easy shoes to fill with Troy Tulowitzki, and he hasn't been able to play much, but he's gone out there, and I know he's only hitting 220, but I think he's done a good job defensively, and he's had some big hits for the Blue Jays.
To right field. And Borges was in the perfect spot, playing very shallow and right. It's like they knew it was coming.
Well, to add to the good old how many pitches pitchers have now, they also have everybody positioned where you hit the ball most consistently. That most of the time is a hit, and that's an out.
A 1-2-3 inning for Shane Carl, 26-year-old out of Santa Cruz, California. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. And we're enjoying the performance from Jay Happ. He likes to work up in the zone. You used to call for this pitch quite often, JP, when you caught him.
Yeah, I mean, that's you see those swing and misses up there. He's going fastballs up and away, then he's going backdoor breaking balls right there. He's using all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. He went front door sinker to Swanson. Then after Freddie, he throws them that breaking ball after that fastball up, and they really don't have much chance with that. So he's doing a really good job of being able to pitch up with his fastball, throw his breaking ball off that pitch, and again, he's had a good zone back there, which I think has helped him as well.
71 pitches, 6 innings, and the ability to go the full 9, which would be a great rest for John Gibbons' bullpen.
Yeah, there's nothing better than having a starter go the CG, and you know, most of the time you even think about it, it's even getting a guy up that makes a big difference. You know, some guys, if you warm up and you sit them back down, warm up, they haven't had to even really breathe hard down there in the bullpen. Those guys are hanging out. Jay Happ, one thing that Mark DeRosa talked about before is how much further he's able to go in the games, and that's a big deal. What has changed him is he is not throwing 100 pitches and out of the game in the 5th. He's able to continue to go deeper in the games.
Alexa, what else can you tell us about Happ?
Well, I talked to Luke Maley a little bit earlier in the clubhouse about what it's like to catch him, and he said, you know what, he's a consummate professional. He's a guy, as we know, started opening day, and he's a leader of this pitching staff, but he said not only is he a leader of the pitching staff, he's just a leader of this team. He's a guy who goes out there and the moment's never too big. I always know what I'm going to get. And he also said, it's really big for me as, you know, a younger guy that his level of communication is so high, and even if I have some feedback for him, he listens. And he said, you know, that's rare for an older player to be able to do that for someone like me, and the fact that he is willing and open to do that says so much about him as a player.
35 years old, still listening, still learning. Thanks, Alexa.
He's a great guy. I mean, even with me, it was always fun to have a communication. It was an open line of communication, and he just continues to evolve. I think that's what good players do, right? And why he's been able. I mean, to me, he might be the best arm out there available that everybody knows is available.
Some comments on Nick Markakis, Weston. He really deserves it. Such a professional, talking about his all-star bid. Saw Dorothy say, Harper who? It's Nick this year for the All-Star. Last time Jay Happ was traded, this is the work he put together for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2015 post-deadline. 11 starts, ERA south of 2, and the strikeout numbers were exceptional. Traded from the Mariners to the Pirates on July 31st. Markakis roller, and Travis cleans it up. There's one away.
Those are pretty good numbers, and if I'm a team, I'm going, I want that guy. And we talked about it earlier where he could possibly go. I think Seattle Mariners would be he'd go back. It's where he's been there before, but Seattle Mariners would be a huge place for him.
From Frank, who would you take from Atlanta for Happ?
Well, we saw their minor leagues. I mean, they have a lot of good prospects in the minor leagues. I think it's one of those things that Austin Riley, the third baseman, because you know Donaldson's going to be gone soon, so that's somebody that I would want to make sure I have in the trade.
But it's only a rental for 2 months. Happ will be a free agent after the season. I know Braves fans probably right now are going, no way, we're not trading Riley. What about one of their pitchers?
Well, I mean, they're not going to give up really any other pitchers right now. You have Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright's one of the top prospects, but I mean, are you going to give up a guy like that for him?
No, probably too highly ranked. I was thinking more of a Max Fried in the organization. A little bit buried now with all of the talent. I'm trying to please both sides.
Well, I'm a very one-sided. I'm shooting. I'm aiming high so I can miss in the middle of the pack. But you know what's crazy too is I think there's a lot of things that go into ranking. I feel like sometimes some of these guys rank guys lower that they are higher on so that they can maybe surprise, and some guys they have ranked higher that maybe they can get more because of it.
That just happened with the Kelvin Herrera deal. Royals closer moving to the Nationals. The 3 players that come back were ranked on the lower end of the top 20 prospect spectrum within the organization. I think the highest ranked player in that deal was number 8 in the organization according to MLB.com, but apparently the Royal scouts had those players ranked much higher, and that's a foul ball down the left field line. Kurt Suzuki homered back in the 2nd inning, his 8th home run of the season. You have the Borges home run in the 3rd, and that's it for the Atlanta offense. They used up most of it yesterday with their 11 runs. Best offense in the National League in terms of runs scored. The Braves have won 6 of their last 7, 3 in a row, 3.5 game lead in the NL East, and it is skied from Suzuki. Hernandez coming in. 2 away.
You see on that fly ball too, Russell Martin had his target high in the zone. All of a sudden, this ball creeps down into the middle of the plate, and he just misses, possibly hitting his 2nd home run of the day. So that's how close it can get from a strikeout or a home run.
13 consecutive batters retired by J. Happ. And he has gotten past Charlie Culberson in both matchups. A fly out in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th. And Mark DeRosa back.
I'm back.
How'd you do in the comments section?
Tough question.
Typing away?
Yeah, good, tough question.
What was
Some
the best
of them
one?
I didn't even want to answer.
I saw one, actually, I'll ask it to you in a moment here. It's flipped up, and just short is Justin Smoke. Maybe 2 or 3 steps away from grabbing that foul ball and making it 14 batters in a row retired by J. Happ. He's going for that mark right now against Culberson. It's 0-2. I saw someone ask about Munenori Kawasaki.
Did they?
Did you miss that one?
I missed that one.
I dropped it. I answered.
Oh, you did?
I did.
They asked about him, how he's doing, what was the relationship like. You were his translator.
The relationship was as advertised. I mean, JP can speak to Munenori. I mean, he was worth, if we're looking at a WAR stat, without him playing a single inning, he's 1 WAR.
Is it like having an A-level comedian in the clubhouse? A-list comedian?
But sneaky effective on the field. Listen, that can only last for so long. If you can't help us win a ball game,
yeah, then it's not as funny.
That's going to get old eventually. Yeah. But this guy, left on left, he got bunts down, hitting runs, could play a good shortstop. He did some things. Team masseuse on the side.
Dude, get out.
I'm not kidding. You'd come in, he'd be walking on Edwin Encarnacion's back.
Little chip shot for Charlie Culberson. He's a 2-out base runner for a Braves team that has been very effective with 2 outs this season.
He's also the only player I've ever seen get sent down, and we had a team meeting.
Team meeting.
Hey, guys, we just finished the game. We have a meeting, and everyone's going, what's going on? What we have a post-game team meeting? Hey, guys, we're very sorry to announce that we're sending down Munenori Kawasaki.
But it was serious because he knew how much he meant to our clubhouse.
That's pretty special. Most of the times, you see the guys got back.
Where is he now?
He needs his own TV show.
Still, that interview is one of the all-time greatest interviews of anybody after that walk-off.
Yeah. Here's the changeup from J. Happ to Ender Inciarte.
Now you don't get that pitch. You know, I heard people talking on Facebook. We're really playing up the Atlanta Braves All-Stars. Why don't you talk about J.A. Happ for the? I see J.A. Happ all the time. J. Happ for the All-Star game. He's right. 8-3 with a 3.43. He's dominating today again. I think we're so enamored with the trade talk that you forget here's a guy who needs to go to D.C. as well.
Chopped foul. He could be the Blue Jays representative.
Yeah,
at the Midsummer Classic.
I'm going to say he's definitely the guy for me on this team who deserves it. I mean, listen, they have some guys that are having good years, but nothing like J.A. Happ.
Inciarte looking for his first hit of the day. A 3-hit performance yesterday. Check swing, did he go around? He did not. It's 2-2.
I always wondered, these guys, half the time they don't know what a check swing is. You could ask 10 umpires what a check swing is, and they'll give you 10 different answers.
Yes. If I was commissioner of baseball, though, I would take that away from the home plate umpire. You have to get help.
100%. I'm with you on that. That's
too much, and I think it takes a lot of
less
angst,
ego.
Yeah, angst off the home plate umpire. He's trying to grind and call balls and strikes, and he's got to worry about bat angles and whether he went or not.
87 from Happ, working all quadrants. And that is strikeout number 7 on the day for J. Happ. And it's a 4-2 lead. We stretch, but we don't stretch. We keep going on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. We are going to play a game that we do every week. It's called Like It or Leave It. Very simple, fellas.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you're not ready for this?
I didn't know
it's
this
very
was
easy.
coming.
Thumbs up if you love it. Thumbs down if you want to leave
All
it.
right.
First topic, roll it. I don't know what the topics are. Just give me your first thought, up or down. DH in both leagues. Commissioner Manfred says talks have progressed. Easy. No, we're up. We're up.
We're up.
I'd rather watch Nelson Cruz at bat than Wei Yin Chen. Kelvin Herrera gives the Nationals the edge in the National League East.
Yeah.
As in what? You still have the Braves?
No,
I just don't think he's the difference changer.
Yeah, I don't think he's the deciding factor on whether the
Okay.
Nationals are going to win the East.
Number 3. The Atlanta Braves will have 3 starters on the National League All-Star team. I'm going to say no. Things heat up when we get closer to the race.
There's still some time.
Maybe 2. Freddie Freeman's there.
Freddie's the guy.
Probably Albies. Markakis, it'll be tough to crack the starting lineup. But I think he'll get in there. And the Blue Jays should be open for business. Do you have any extra thumbs? Can I borrow some thumbs?
Hey,
Can I borrow your thumb?
against you guys.
Can I borrow his thumb?
Come on, JP.
All right, I know.
I think you got to get
Comment below, everyone.
You got to
Should
get
the
a
Blue Jays
healthy
be open for
Donaldson back,
business?
but
Yep.
I think you think bold. I think you have Vlad, you have Bo Bichette, you have all these guys we've chronicled coming from the minor leagues. You could move almost anybody, and I'm talking. I could even go Stroman. I'd even go Donaldson.
I thought Tapera, you can get something for a
I'm
bullpen
telling
arm.
you, there's a lot that people would like off this Blue Jays roster.
By the way, we saw Marcus Stroman. JP and I catching up with him on the field. He is back this weekend, likely Saturday, in Anaheim. That's big news for the rotation.
Oh, yeah.
The kid is back, and there's some things that he's working on that he talked to us about that he is going to be featuring.
So I'm curious, can we bring that up? Did we get approval from Marcus to bring up his trick?
He's got a pitch?
Oh, he said he found the pitch. He said he found the pitch.
Can we bring it up, or
yeah,
we're not allowed?
I mean, yeah, let's bring it up. I mean, he's change up. He said he went down to pitching coach in Double-A, showed him a grip. He said he hasn't been able to throw a changeup because it always cuts. He said the Triple-A or the Double-A pitching coach, Vince Horstman, said, hey, let's try a few different things. He said all of a sudden he threw a pitch and it just went drop out of the zone. And he was like, well, maybe this is just one thing. He said he threw 5 in a row that were all insanely good. And he goes, I literally have never thrown 5 changeups in a row that good in my career. He's like, it's going to be on. It's on.
Even if he shows it. We had Jack Morris in studio not too long ago. We were talking about his nasty forkball, and he said exactly that. Down in the minors, some coach pulled him aside and said, move your thumb here, do this, do that. And he said, it was like I found a new toy. All right, now I'm dialed in on his start.
I said, I'll be watching now.
Way to go, JP. Why don't you just tell Anaheim what he's going to throw next?
Well, hey, but I mean, how excited?
He was pumped up, and that is a fair baseball. Devin Travis hustling the second.
Oh!
And he's in there.
We're going to see replay on that.
Nope.
Dansby Swanson said no.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, we're going to see replay on that. What a
No
play
as in
by
don't
Peter
review it, or
Borges.
no as in he's out? What's the finger wag?
I'm the Atlanta Braves. I got to look at this.
No, he said he just gave him the no.
Oh, he's saying no.
He said no.
All right. That looked from up here. Give me the replay.
He missed him.
Yeah, he missed him. He knows he didn't make contact.
I'm giving
with
you
leg.
the Mutombo, Swanson. Get the tag on.
Oh, save it.
A double to lead off the 7th. And this is the second inning of work from Shane Carl, who worked a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th.
You were with me when we were talking to him. How excited? I mean, he was legitimately very excited about this pitch.
It was the first thing he said to us. Not how are you? What have you been up to? Guys, I have a new pitch. And he already has quite a few pitches in that arsenal.
He also said if they hit it, they can name it.
Oh, man.
Amazing. One of the best Instagram follows too.
He
AJ
really
Minter
is. He really
warm.
he puts himself out there, but he backs it up. I loved it. Covered the WBC, and he was a monster for Team USA.
Heart outweighs height. That's his line. Teoscar Hernandez looking for his first hit. Maybe does it for Stavros, watching from Athens, Greece.
Ooh, that place is beautiful.
Mykonos?
Never been, but it looked good on pictures.
One of my favorites. And Teoscar Hernandez strikes out. So Justin Smoke up next.
That swing looked like he was definitely trying to move him over right there. And sometimes that's where it backfires. You try to move the guy over, and all of a sudden they throw a fastball right by you. But look at this swing. You can tell with the swing like this. I mean, it's a late, I was trying to move him over, and
yeah,
by you.
Hitters are 174 against the two-seam fastball from Shane Carl this season. That's been his best weapon. A base hit, a walk, and a strikeout for Smoke. And he's having a tough month. Entered the day in June, 157 with 1 homer, coming off a career year. He was an all-star last season.
He really was. He was a beast. I was just looking at his numbers right here. As bad as his month's been, he's got some power numbers. 16 doubles, 9 homers, 34 ribbies, a 778 OPS, 70 punch-outs.
Yeah, he's got a lot of walks, though. I mean, 46 walks. But man, losing Josh Donaldson, people don't realize that.
Yeah,
It's
it exposes you.
It's just not JD that changes the line. He changes it for everybody.
Yeah.
The guys in front of him, the guys behind him.
You watch
Everybody
that,
suffers.
JP. You watch that with JD Martinez signing with the Red Sox. Lets Mookie Betts play with his hair on fire in the leadoff hole. Lets other guys get healthy. It's special.
Well, that's what I mean. Look at that.
You can't replace that.
No, and what he does too is not only does he hit the ball out of the park, he walks. And every time I'm calling a game against somebody that does that, I'm worried. There's a guy on first base that's probably fast because he's hitting the 2-hole. Now I can't let him steal. Now boom, now he gets on, or he hits a base hit. Now Smokey comes up with a man on second and third. JD can change a lineup by just being in it. And so if he comes back and he's healthy, that's where he can change the lineup. Think about what JD did when he went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Two on 1 bounce. Albies. And there are 2 down. Devin Travis moves over to third. And Yangervis Solarte about to dig in.
Where do the fans think that Josh Donaldson could possibly go?
Yeah, let's throw that out there. What's a landing spot for Josh Donaldson at the trade deadline? He needs to get healthy first. The problem for him, as he's been sitting on the disabled list for a few weeks now, is that when he starts running, the calf is barking. Otherwise, he's done BP, he's done everything else besides the base running. That's the last link for him to make it back to the big leagues. AJ Minter is going to come on and replace Shane Carl. What do the Atlanta Braves need? Because I know some fans will say, hey, give us Donaldson. But let's break down the team ranks in the National League. So they're middle of the pack in ERA and WHIP. The walks are a problem. We talked about that with the bullpen. And then over at third base, 7th in average, 8th in homers, RBIs, and slugging percentage. It's pretty obvious, right? 1 or 2 relievers and a third baseman so you don't rush Riley from the minor leagues. Closers available. Pick one for us.
Well, do I get to pick one of those?
Why
I'm
not?
taking Raisel Iglesias all day long. He's got control. He's got bullet stuff. Brad Hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brad.
No left-hander can hit this guy. But here's my thing. Like, the Braves are in first place. They're scoring a ton of runs. Johan Camargo fits in. Listen, I get it. If Machado or Donaldson walk in your clubhouse, it changes the entire complexion of what you're doing. But they are rental-type players. It's just, what are you willing to give up? And I'm telling you, I've done a lot of homework on the Atlanta Braves. They're 10 to 15 deep prospect-wise, and I'm not saying that just to sprinkle some sugar on top. I mean, these are big leaguers coming. I don't want to give up 3 pieces for Brad Hand.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but
for the hopes.
Here you imagine a Moustakas or a Machado in that lineup. Here's
you want Moustakas, you want 3 lefties back-to-back with Freeman, Moustakas, Markakis. Yeah, I'd take it, but
for me, one of the biggest things I think in the game now is the last 3 innings. I mean, the last 4 innings. Look at the Yankees. Why the Yankees they have 3 closers, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, if you can add to the bullpen, I think you can shorten games like nobody's business.
This is AJ Minter against Solarte. Paul on Facebook saying Donaldson to the Cardinals.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
sure. They were after him.
Cardinals. I don't like to come off the Braves and Blue Jays. Cardinals, watching them on a nightly basis, they lack identity. They're not.
It's not with the Cardinals.
I can't figure them out. I cannot figure them out. Their lineup leaves me wanting more. Their starting rotation's good enough to get them to a World Series. Bullpen, they're running guys out there I've never heard of. It's an interesting team this year.
A flurry of bullpen injuries for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They wanted Donaldson in the offseason. There were reports flying around. The Blue Jays said, we're not trading him.
I just think you look at all the champion when the Royals were dominating, they had Hochevar, Kelvin Herrera, Greg Holland, Wade Davis. You know, look at all these teams. Last year, Houston's bullpen struggled. What'd they do? They made these guys go.
Well,
into
that's
the
what
bullpen.
I'm saying, JP. Maybe there's a starter out there that can move one of the Braves starters to the bullpen, and you can do it like that. Watching Justin Verlander walk in the door, that guy's not out there. You heard Alex talk about it. Is Chris Archer a 1-1?
Well, J.A. Happ's one of those guys.
Is he a 1? Are you handing J. Happ the ball game 1 of the postseason?
Against Verlander?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yeah, I am. Right. I mean, watch the dude's a different guy right now.
Cole Hamels is a name floating out there. That's a floater from Solarte. It's going to bounce. It's a base hit. It'll score a run. His 44th RBI on the season, and a big clap as usual. 5-2 Toronto.
Another part of the J Happ.
Oh, that's a nice piece of hitting right there. Watch him go get this. I mean, this ball's a foot off the plate. He thought it was going to get called a strike. He goes and lays his bat out there for a ribby.
It looks like a young D-Row. It's flipping it out there.
Travis scores. Blue Jays lead by 3. And now Kendrys Morales.
I think for me, there's only 2 pitchers out on the market, or potentially out on the market, that you'd be willing to give up just an absolute boatload for.
Hit hard by Morales, but this time Enciarte is there. Big day for him. First time an out has been recorded when he has stepped up. Let's go right down to Alexa. She has a special guest.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, Mike Soroka pitched in his 5th Major League game last night right here at the Rogers Center. And the most important part about it was that it was his first pro game pitching here in Canada. He is from Calgary, so it was a really special moment for him. He said he got emotional during the Canadian national anthem. He had tons of family and friends in the stands, including Quentin here, one of his childhood friends from Calgary. Quentin, you know, he was saying how he was so full of emotion and energy before he pitched. What was it like for you guys watching him in the stands?
Oh, it was the same way. Like, we were so happy. It was just so much emotion, just proud. It was amazing to see.
Pretty incredible, too, because he was talking about how all of the Canadian flags were out in the stands, and even the Blue Jays fans were supporting him.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for him, being able to pitch on home soil. I think it was just as good as his debut, I'd say. Just being able to be in Canada in front of Canadian fans, the Blue Jays fans were giving him good support as well. So just being here for him in Canada was amazing.
He said his 93rd-year-old great uncle is also here today, so he's got tons of support. He also called it his 2nd debut, so just all around pretty amazing. You hung out with him after the game. What did he tell you about his outing?
He didn't have a whole lot to say. He was just super happy. So, like, it was just, he didn't have many words, but you could just tell he was full of excitement, he was just happy. He was just.
And then, since I have you here, let's go back to your guys' childhood. Give me a little bit of dirt on what you can tell me about Mike Soroka that I can use later on.
There was one time in high school, there was some grad pranks, and the graduating students threw water balloons on the ground, and he slipped on one in front of everyone. So that's a good one.
In front of everyone. So it took him a little while to grow into his body.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of his other friends were saying he was maybe a little clumsy, but not so much now. Okay, so I did some more digging on you guys, and we have this photo that I want to share from Halloween of you two. And this is both Quentin and Mike dressed up as lumberjacks, apparently. Where did this all come from?
It was kind of last minute. We were just going through what we both had. And lumberjacks is kind of Canadian, so we're just like, we'll just throw that together, and decided to cut the shorts a little bit, maybe cut a little too much off, but that's just where it came from.
Awesome. So it seems like he is a fantastic friend to you, and you to him as well, for you to travel this far for his outing here in Canada.
Yeah, like I said, he hasn't changed much, so we've been in super close contact the past couple of years, and anytime he's home during the off season, we hang out a bunch. So it's just, like I said, it's amazing to see him have success and, again, be able to pitch on home soil. So it was great.
Quinn, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. And Mark and JP, we tried to Photoshop you guys into that photo, but we didn't want to leave out Scott, so we decided to not do that.
Yeah, I don't skip legs day. Thanks, Alexa. Mike Soroka, lower body. Wow. 20 years old, youngest pitcher in Major League Baseball. And he looks it, but the performance does not look like the youngest pitcher in baseball. He already has the command and control and the poise.
Yes, the poise is the big thing for me. But you saw last night pitching on his home soil, and his dad talked about it during the game. They interviewed his father. He said, there's nerves here tonight.
He was definitely, I mean, you could tell he was jacked up. And then for me, what changes that nerves, that ball gets hit by Pilar. You can see him, he put his head down like, and then when he made that catch, it was like, monkey off my back, let's go. I mean, one play like that can change the spectrum of somebody's outing.
Ryan Tepera in the bullpen for the Blue Jays.
I just want to tie a bow. I just want to tie a bow on those two names. That would change the dynamic, and that's DeGrom and Syndergaard. Now, if the Mets decide they want to sell, then that would get
in division.
That would get. Hey, who knows? I'm just saying those are the two guys that would bring back a boatload.
Yohan Camargo, fly ball in foul territory to make him 0 for 3 today, following up maybe the best game of his life, career high 5 RBIs off of 4 hits yesterday in their game 1 win, 11-4. 100 pitches from J Happ. They would love to see him get through the 8th, to pair in the 9th, and have a good day. It's a foul ball. 3-2 count to Borges, who homered back in the 3rd. Also a season high 7 1/3 from J Happ. So giving them supreme length today.
How refreshing is it? I love seeing a starter
go past the 5th inning.
Just grind it out, man. Just grind it out. I mean, obviously he's probably headed to Washington D.C. in the All-Star game, so he's capable of having moments like this. But he is dialed in, giving the bullpen a blow.
Frozen pizza.
Paint, 8th strikeout of the day for Happ.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there's not much you could do. That fastball down right there, not much you can do. You know what, J Happ too. They showed a stat when he got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He in his 11 starts, he had a 1.8 ERA. That tells me that's why for me even something like that, because it's not easy to just go to another team. He got traded over there, and he went 1.8 for them. So that's why when you ask me, can you match him up against Verlander? I mean, sometimes makeup and what's between the ears plays up other than stuff.
Albies to short. Diaz makes the play. 103 pitches. Make that 104 from J Happ.
Does he stay in the game?
His season high is 108 back on May 4th. Well, let's ask the audience.
Exactly.
Comment below. Would you like J Happ to come out for the 9th? Keep in mind, this is somebody who could bring you back a significant return at the trade deadline. You don't want to wear him out. I'm not saying an extra 10 pitches is going to do that, but in case he labors, or do you just let him go out on a nice note? Ryan Tepera getting warm in the bullpen to pitch the 9th, presumably, if J Happ's day is done, and we'll keep an eye on him in the dugout and see if he gets handshakes and high fives. Hey, Braves fans, your team returns home on Friday to begin a 6-game homestand against the Orioles and the Reds. So head out to SunTrust Park and see Freeman, Albies, and Markakis in action. Get your tickets now at Braves.com. For the Blue Jays, they're back in Toronto June 29th to begin a 9-game homestand. A series against the Tigers, then the Mets and the Yankees are in town. Get your tickets now at BlueJays.com. The Braves were coming off a 5-1 homestand. Now these 2 games in Toronto, then 6 more at home beginning on Friday. Baltimore and Cincinnati, and then a 10-game road trip, make that, and a difficult one at that. St. Louis, the Yankees, and then the Brewers. They miss Alex Anthopoulos. 5-2, Toronto leading Atlanta. On-demand highlight packages for every regular season game are all available on Facebook Watch. We have weekly recaps for all 30 teams. Head over to Facebook Watch, find your team, check out the weekly recap. We have them all for you on demand every single day. This place is hopping too. Second highest attendance of the season. Katie goes, let Hap finish the game. I'm sure there are many that are going to echo those sentiments.
Exclamation marks.
Let's get the comment from you two then, live on the broadcast. Mark DeRosa, leave J Hap in the game or go with Ryan Tepera, who's been pitching well in the 9th inning for the team lately?
I let Hap make the decision for me. If he wants it, I'll give it to him. I'm 16 games out of first place. If he wants the moment, I'm going to let him grab it. If not, I have no problem. I want my players to be honest with me.
Pilar to center.
He hasn't labored at all in this game.
Inciarte makes the play. 1 away.
What do you got, JP?
I don't agree. Here's why I don't agree. Because he goes out there and say he gives up a knock, you're going to have to come and get him.
Yep.
And then now Tepera comes in and doesn't have the clean inning. And you know how big it is for closers who are a little bit of mental midgets in the sense of they want to have that clean inning, that routine.
Hey, Ryan Tepera, you don't get a clean inning.
Yeah, he deserves it. That's why he's closing right now.
Bobby said, take out Hap, bring in Tepera. Hap is on the block.
He's thinking smart.
Karen, Hap. Love me some J Hap. Aaron, leave Hap in. We'll see.
I remember when Terry Collins left Matt Harvey in the World Series.
Yeah, how'd that go?
You sure you want to let the pitcher make the decision?
Yes, in this situation, not game 3 or 5 of the World Series, but yeah.
Pilar flies out to center. Now a 2-0 count to Russell Martin.
And he's got 2 lefties. He's going to face Swanson, Freeman, Markakis.
Listen,
he's going out there, JP.
You know this well. You know this well.
Look at that empty bullpen.
Yeah, because he's usually guys get up with two outs.
Get out of here. He's pitching.
Dude, my problem is how many times do you see a guy go out there in the 9th inning after he has a lot of pitches, and then he gives up a runner or 2, and then he comes out of the game, and then they score a few runs. And I don't like it. I like the clean inning. Big clean inning guy.
Robert said, let him go the distance.
Big clean inning guy.
Ryan Tepera.
Look at Gibby. You think he's pulling the trigger?
Gibby's thinking about a bald ego post game.
Luke Jackson to Russell Martin. 3-1 pitch. And it'll be a full count. 26-year-old on the mound out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, your neck of the woods.
He was a teammate of mine, Luke Jackson, with the Texas Rangers. He has a good fastball, but as we saw earlier, sometimes he does not know where it's going.
And Russell Martin gets a free pass. Now Jackson in AAA this season with dynamite strikeout numbers and a 1.69 earned run average. In the major leagues, 3 earned runs in his first 5 1/3. with 9 Ks this season. We saw him on June 12th, a scoreless inning and a strikeout.
You know why I know that Happ is going back out?
Why? Empty bullpen?
Well, usually if a guy comes in with an opportunity for a double play to end the inning, the pitcher will get up, and no one got up.
I mean, it's a great call, but I like it. The situation call, give the fans what they want. Situation calls for it.
Oh, the fans are asking for Happ to go back out there?
Yes.
I did see somebody say, he's on the block, don't do it.
I think it was Doug I just saw say, this game means nothing for them, let them finish it. Andrew, they're not in the World Series yet. That's right. Someone said a mishap, if you will. Cute.
You gotta love play on words.
Love it. So Grichuk flew out to left. Now Ledmys Diaz. Base hit and a sacrifice fly earlier on. Last time up was in the 6th, and he flew out to right field. Russell Martin, Canadian.
Goodness, if he goes back out there and gives up a hit and they pull him out, I'm gonna be mad. I mean, just if that, then let him go. Then if you're gonna let him go, let him go. That's my thing.
Solidly struck to left. Base hit. Ledmys Diaz. Martin moves up to second. And here comes Devin Travis.
You might no, I'm letting him go. I was going to say you might see someone soft toss right now.
Yeah, if in case a 3-run homer right here, the lead gets big. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, then it doesn't even become a question, really. I think.
So you take him out if it's 8-2.
I would go up to Happer right at the end of the 8th inning and say, "This is yours if you want."
I just like
he hasn't labored at all. He's given up 2 ambush homers.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. My biggest thing is just let him go out there and do it. At the end of the day, I mean, here this is dude. When I was his teammate, Luke Jackson, he did this a lot. I wish all these pictures of Gibby. I wish that there was a cloud of what he could possibly be thinking.
Lifted into foul ground. Freeman with space, and he missed it. Off the tip of the glove and into the seats.
Thought he was a little closer to the wall than he was.
Devin Travis stays alive.
That's a tough part about turf as well. Because turf, if you're on a regular track, you have the dirt. So at least you know that you're turf, you don't really have an idea of when it's coming.
You see that big glove man too? He's always in the shot. Saw him? The guy with the huge glove. We'll roll it back.
I can see him from here.
Yeah. That's for Freddie.
That's what I needed to catch the knuckleball, all right, Dickie. I needed that thing.
Travis sharply to third, but it's gobbled up by Camargo. And we will head to the 9th inning at Rogers Center. Beautiful sunny day. Will the sunshine continue for Jay Happ? Nursing a 3-run advantage. Yes, it will. Here comes Jay Happ to work the 9th. Like I mentioned,
finish strong, Happer.
Season high pitch count for him, 108. So if he goes the distance, he will likely surpass that.
See, a few fans appreciate it.
You're right, though, JP, because look who's warming up. So I get what you're saying. But I also like where we are in the lineup right now. Dansby Swanson hasn't hurt anybody recently. Freddie, Nick Markakis, 2 left on lefts. I mean, they're 0 for 9 combined.
Let him run.
You know what I'm saying. He comes back out, Tepera gets up with him, so you know that right away it's going to take one batter and then he's gone. Okay, then give him 2 batters then. That's my point, is you let him go out there at this pitch count, you know that he's going to have 1 batter. I mean, you got to let him go out there and just have the whole inning, or don't test it, because usually when you test it, it ends up bad.
You're a big fan of the clean inning. Scott, what do you think?
I'm rough. I'm so conservative, and I'm protecting
really?
my asset for a trade move, so I'm going Tepera. You're saying the game doesn't matter for Toronto, so let Ryan Tepera get a safe situation, second highest attendance of the year, let him work the crowd, and silence everyone that thinks that J-Happ should go the distance. 8 solid innings, shake his hand, hasn't had a complete game since 2010, no big deal. No one does it anymore anyway. Super conservative, protect that asset, get as much as he can. I just don't want him to go 118, and then he hasn't given up a walk or a hit, but the Braves are working the pitch count.
What's 118 if you're not stressed? What is it? Do you know the magic number to make an arm hurt?
It just depends on who it is.
Oh, well, are we talking about Nolan Ryan days? The guy's going 140.
I'm not as dangerous as the guys that we just showed on the screen.
I didn't do that. CN Tower.
I actually would do it.
Dangled off that?
I'd never do that.
I would do it. Not
doesn't-
the bungee jump, but apparently we asked, Alexa and I asked about this yesterday. You just
You lean
kind of
off
work
of
your
it.
way around it and lean off.
No, thank you.
I'm not good with
Dude,
that.
Anxiety 1,000 up there.
All right, maybe not. I'm out.
Wow.
Looks cool.
Hey, JP, why are you throwing up? It's because I can't move. My heart's coming out of my chest.
Yep. It would be a great selfie. Swanson's 0 for 3. He struck out back in the 6th. Happ has 8 Ks. Let's just keep an eye on the pitch count. 106. And he's 1 away from his season high.
Oh, goodness gracious. If he goes deeper in this game and they pull him out because of pitch count, I'm karate chopping you to the back of the net.
They're not pulling him out.
And there's Tepera just in case.
I think he's a guy that teams may go after. I'm not going to lie. I think he's shown some stuff.
What's the leash? If there's a walk or a base hit, is he out?
Oh, gone.
Probably.
So just 1 batter, and everyone comment below. 1 batter for J-Happ. If they reach, then you take him out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done.
I'm not concerned about his pitch count. I got to be honest with you. I haven't seen him. I don't think he's broke a sweat today.
Swanson reaches for it, and Solarte across the diamonds. 1 down in the 9th.
And if there's anybody that's physically in the shape to handle it, it's this guy. You know, I mean, this guy looks the part, but he is a strong, put-together human being.
And we're going to talk about this after the game, too. Follow @ScottBraun on Instagram. I'll go live within the next 5 minutes so that as soon as the game finishes, any questions that you did not get answered, trade deadline, Braves, current prospects, any of that, we will address it on the post-game show. Instagram Live, the questions come in and we answer them. It's very simple. I'll get it going right now so they can see how we look in the booth. Fix your hair.
D-Rose hair is on point. You got the hairspray before the game started.
There it is.
Freddie Freeman.
Eventually he was going to slash a ball the other way.
Base hit for Freddie Freeman. Is that it?
No. No. Not with Nick Markakis up. Left on left. I'll take my shot getting a double play right here.
These are 2 of the better left-handed hitters against lefty pitching in Major League Baseball. We were gushing about Freeman. Markakis has excellent numbers against lefties.
It's a good pitch, too. He's such a good hitter. I mean, he just stays on the ball so long, and his misses are base hits as opposed to other guys' misses are rollovers.
Such minimal movement at the plate. He's so big and long and a lot of hinges working for him. But just barrel accuracy consistently.
Markakis is 0 for his last 6.
Need a double play right here. A little sinker. Maybe they can go in on the sinker. He's grounded out 3 times, so this would be a nice time to go for the 4th one.
Opposite field, inside out swing, and that's back-to-back hits for the Braves.
Now he's done.
Okay, Dero, now can you say it?
Yeah, now he's done. We gave him a shot.
But you shouldn't have given him the shot.
Stop it.
You don't give him the shot there.
Good job, Hap.
Yeah.
Listen to this crowd. Eight and a third from Jay Happ. He is responsible for the 2 Braves base runners. That is a crowd of 45,563, second highest attendance this year since their opening day sellout. Gorgeous day for baseball here in Toronto. Blue Jays 5, Braves 2. These two teams do not face each other often, but they did so back in 1992 in the World Series.
Blue Jays need one more out. Braves need one more run. Timlin is working from the stretch. Big right-hander.
Nixon bunts. Timlin on it. Throws to first. For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border. The Toronto Blue Jays are baseball's best in 1992.
It was a long time coming, but it's here. They do it here in Atlanta in a hard-fought victory over the Atlanta Braves. So, Canada, let it all out. It's party time.
Back-to-back World Series titles for the Toronto Blue Jays, and in 1992 they did it against the Atlanta Braves. The Braves had one of the most epic runs we have ever seen, just dominating in terms of winning divisions and making it to the postseason. Alexa has more on that 1992 matchup. Alexa?
Scott, we've been talking all broadcast about how young this Braves team is in 2018. We were wondering where they all were in 1992, so we did a little bit of math here, and a lot of these guys were not born yet. As you can see here, Ronald Acuna Jr., as we all know, is very young. So is Mike Soroka and Ozzie Albies. But Gohara and Swanson and Camargo, I mean, all of these guys were so young back in 1992. It was absolutely incredible. People were commenting on this throughout the game. It was pretty incredible to see all of these young guys play. Robert Cunningham said all these young Braves are going to be all-stars in the future, and potentially even this year we could see Freeman, Markakis, Albies, Swanson, and maybe Acuna and Suzuki. So Robert is very excited about this team. And then Jonathan said the Atlanta Braves will meet the Astros in the 2018 World Series. How do you guys feel about that?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Braves, Astros?
It's possible.
Sure.
The National League is wide open. I mean, we can't sugarcoat that. The American League, you kind of know. You at least know Yanks, Boston, Houston, Cleveland.
Do they have the experience, though, on that Braves team to be able to, when postseason comes around, to have the composure to do what they need to do?
But I think sometimes it's just your time. I really do believe that. And sometimes you might be just young and, I don't want to say dumb enough because that's not fair, but just young enough.
Kurt Suzuki, hot shot past Solarte. It's going to score Freeman. And the Braves cut it to a 5-3 ball game with just one out. They have runners on the corners. Markakis moves up to third. It's an RBI hit for Kurt Suzuki.
Hey, Mike! That's what makes me sick right there.
See, you look at it a lot differently than I do. I really believe that. I think Toronto, I think Happer threw a great game. I think, again, you talk about maybe it's just your time. Maybe sometimes, look at the Bravos, man. They're finding a way to potentially steal this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
I don't believe Gibby or Hap will have given them this game.
You bring in a closer who closers usually get clean innings.
Ryan
you bring
Tepera
has
not earned the right to dictate he gets clean innings.
You're right, he hasn't earned the right, but now it's about putting people in the best position to succeed.
I got you on that. I got you.
And so that's my point
fair.
is it's not earned the right. I'm trying to win the game, and how's the best way that Ryan Tepera can win this game for us? Well, you come in and you got first and second. You're one pitch away from a tie game. How much you have a lot more pressure as a pitcher.
Yeah.
You know that makes a big difference.
Charlie Culberson has a magic bat. Some clutch hits for the team this year. Big cut. And Tepera is ahead 0-2. The Toronto Blue Jays, since May 7th, have blown 7 of 14 save chances. It's been a problem spot. Tepera trying to settle in. 1 1/3 on Sunday, scoreless. Last time he was on a mound. (0-2) to Culberson. Doesn't bite. And a nice stop. You can appreciate that, JP.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch. He yanked that cutter right there, so Martin did a good job. He's so athletic back there. He can get to balls that a lot of people can't get to balls. But that's in the other batter's box. That's pretty good.
A wild cutter from Ryan Tepera. Pinch runner Ryan Flaherty replacing Kurt Suzuki at first. Markakis at third. And again, he's way wide.
You see Charlie Culberson making the adjustment. He's not picking up Tepera very well. He eliminated any movement with his front foot right there, just staying static, just lifting it toe ever so slightly and trying to take that 2-strike approach.
And he fools Culberson. 2 down.
Big pitch right there. That was right on the corner. That was a nasty, nasty breaking ball right there.
A 2-run lead for the Blue Jays, looking to even up this series. A mini 2-game interleague set. The Blue Jays will be in Atlanta on July 10th and 11th to complete the season series. They fell yesterday 11-4. Today it's all about J-Happ. See if Ryan Tepera can seal the deal. Ender Inciarte looking for his first hit of the day.
I don't like matchups. Tepera has a good breaking ball, and lefties can have turbo zones down and in. So got to be really careful here that you can't let this ball get too down in the zone, down and in. He doesn't need any help. That's what he's telling them right there.
There's strike one. It's been that call all day. He's been consistent.
Yeah. No, he's got really, really good stuff. The biggest thing is being able to control his four seam, because a lot of times he just gets cutter happy, and you know how it is as a hitter. If I can sit on a cutter on a breaking ball, I can do some damage.
And Tepera pours in another strike. You just keep working that portion of the strike zone?
100%. I'm going to try even a little bit further and see. And you know that the umpire is upset because he just complained to him.
Now Inciarte needs to protect the plate. He chokes up significantly.
I'm sure you've seen it, D-Row. How many times have you seen an umpire have a hitter turn back, look at him, and go, okay, here you go, here's your next strike.
Loud crowd today at Rogers Center. 2-2. And it's fouled off. And most of this ballpark getting a good suntan right now, too.
Stay away right here. You got to go back to the well. If I'm getting off the plate, you got to go fastball back away.
New closer Ryan Tepera's 2-2. In on the hands. Great at bat so far from Inciarte to stay alive. Tepera was Mr. Consistency last year out of the bullpen for Toronto. 73 appearances, a 3.59 ERA. He has been even better this year and has elevated to the 9th inning. Handles lefties and righties.
Please goes back to the fastball away.
Martin sets up outside. 2-2. Outside. It's a tough play for Travis. He did stop it, but it's an infield base hit for Inciarte to score a run. Nick Markakis comes in. It's 5-4.
That's where I'm shocked Russell Martin doesn't take his mask off and go out to the mound. He went through the Rolodex right there.
Yeah. I mean,
We've pounded him away. We get him to 0-2, and we give him a...
And here's what I don't like. You go backdoor cutter right there. You know that that's a big miss because if you miss that pitch, it ends up in the middle of the plate, and you're able to do what he just did right there. And I imagine that's what they're talking about right now is, hey, this is what we need to do.
The pinch runner, Ryan Flaherty at second. There's Jay Happ.
I'm telling you, man, it just I've seen it too many times from behind the dish going, I know we need to make this move. I know don't send this guy back out there. And unfortunately, sometimes you send him back out there. Tep, I know he hasn't deserved it.
I know what you're saying.
Tough to clean up a messy inning.
You're not wrong, JP. I just feel like where the Toronto Blue Jays are at currently and how effective he had been for 8 innings. We're entertainers at the end of the day. Give the people what they want.
Camargo skies it.
Win-win, we all win.
Yeah, everybody wins. Now in the shade. Game over. The Blue Jays win 5-4. And they split this 2-game interleague series against Atlanta. They improved to 34-39 on the season. A nice, tidy 2.5-hour game. And it's the 30th loss of the year, but Atlanta has put together 43 wins. Still a first-place club in the National League East. Best record in the NL. 3 games better than the Washington Nationals. And the Braves move on to Atlanta. They're off tomorrow. The soft schedule continues for Atlanta. They're in a stretch of 14 games against sub-500 teams. Baltimore and Cincinnati coming up next. For the Blue Jays, they hit the road, leaving quickly after this game for a trip to Anaheim, a 7-game road trip. They will follow that with the Houston Astros. Quickly, questions in for Jay Happ. Put them in the comment section, and we will get some of them to Jay Happ, who is joining us live. MLB Live on Facebook Watch. We'll do the interview with Happ, and then we will do our Instagram Live. More on that coming up in a moment. 2.5-hour game, 45,563 fans in the house. Jay Happ picks up the W. He is 9-3 on the season. The loss for Sanchez, he is 3-1, and Ryan Tepera picks up his 5th save as we bring in Jay Happ to MLB Live on Facebook Watch. Jay, take us through your start. Congratulations on a good one. How badly did you want to go the distance?
Oh, man. That's baseball for you, I guess. You know what? Flare a couple out there in the last inning, but they were aggressive, and I sensed that early on, so we were trying to, throw quality strikes from the get-go, and I think that enabled me to get to that 9th inning.
Happer, it's D-Row right here.
D-Row, what's up?
Heck of a job, man. I was keeping you in. Aaron Sebia wanted to pull you.
Come on, JP. Hey, come on, guy. I had about 15 to go.
Hey, Happy. Listen, in my defense, I did say if there's anybody that's ready for those pitches, it's you because of how you prepare. But talk about you were able to throw the fastball up and how you continue to just work off all quadrants of the strike zone, man. You go front door sinker, and you had a little help today with that umpire, which was, I'm sure, nice.
Yeah, we're trying to use the top of the zone, and then we're trying to get that 2-seam down and away to get a little bit of separation. Changeup was a pretty good pitch for me today to get a couple ground balls as well.
All right, this one's from Andy on Facebook. He said, how difficult is it to block out the noise when there are trade rumors swirling around?
Yeah, that's something I think is more kind of in between starts. You hear that stuff. I think once you go between the lines, you're not thinking about that at all. You're competing. So that's the fun time. And then you try to put the rest behind you, and whatever happens, happens. But I came here to try to get to the playoffs with this team, and that's what I'm going to do until I'm told differently.
What did you think of the performance from Kendrys Morales on his 35th birthday? Do you buy into that birthday magic? What did you call it, JP?
Birthday magic.
Birthday magic.
I love it. Yeah, he got that front door two-seamer that came back enough on that 2-0 pitch early in the game and get us ahead. And that's always nice to have a little bit of a lead there.
Glenn said, how does your arm feel after a start like this? Because this was a season-high pitch count for you.
Oh, we'll be fine. We got the win. We'll be good.
Exactly.
That's the right
Happer,
answer.
what's been the biggest difference for you? I mean, you've taken that next step where you can Gibby can hand you the ball. Every teammate in that locker room knows that you're going to go out there and grind.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a mindset. I think it's trusting my stuff and finally just allowing me to kind of pitch off what I'm good at instead of maybe trying to do work at some things that maybe aren't the best, aren't my strengths. I try to work with the things that are my strengths.
Jay, congratulations. Great performance. Second highest attendance of the season here for Toronto. They were feeling it. And good luck the rest of the season. We'll talk again soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you later, Hap.
All righty.
Really nice day by Jay Happ. Really nice day here in Toronto to come watch a baseball game. If not, you were hanging with us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. We'll do this again next week, Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The Kansas City Royals visit the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the better teams in the National League, another surprise team in the NL. Follow @ScottBraun on Instagram. I am live. I have been live, and the post-game show starts now. Any questions you didn't get to, we'll do them. Thanks for joining us on MLB Live on Facebook Watch. See you on Instagram.